before we rebuild multilateralism.
Hypocrisy or setting of double standards, and Munich Security Conference, we just issued a paper on the issue, which is great. Now, I know that Kaja Kallas has to leave a bit earlier, so the next question, please, is turned to Kaja Kallas. Who would like to ask this question? Nobody for the High Representative. Yes, we have one. Please go ahead.
Hello, my name is Dubai Bilhol. I'm the founder of Fikir Institute, a think tank in Dubai. And my question is, how do you see EU-GCC relations in the coming year? I know there was a lot of momentum towards the end of the previous administration. How do you see that relationship going forward, and in what areas of priority? Thank you.
Thank you. First, I think, well, European Union has a lot of possibilities in these turbulent times. I think in terms of multilateralism, we definitely are the reliable partner that everybody is looking at. So we see a lot of countries, but also organizations behind our doors, and we have different priorities for different regions, because you know, some are more strategic to our interest than the others. Of course, the funding or the really the most important interest or worry we have currently is the war going on in Ukraine. We can't overlook at that. So all the relationship we have with other countries as well is in that prism as well, because that is the existential threat for Europe. But there is clearly very good cooperation points for different regions, be it energy cooperation, be it you know, in different spheres, and I really feel that there's an opportunity for the European Union to really be present, visible, and put the European flag up in the relationship with other countries, because we are the reliable, predictable partner. And what comes to also the multilateral organizations, I think you know, we can't of course fill the gap if the United States is leaving that gap behind, but we want to do what we can in areas that are also strategic interest for us. So we are definitely looking ways to act as a geopolitical player and increase our geopolitical power as well.
Thank you. Next question. I think somebody wanted. Yes, please go ahead.
Thank you, Your Excellency. I'm the Minister of Defense of Rwanda, and I want just to put some clarification on the comment I had from the panel. So, first of all, Rwanda is committed to supporting the multilateralism. The UN as a unifying force is more crucial than ever during this period of fragmented division. The foundation of a stronger UN lies in the reinforcement of multilateralism, and we must work together to collectively address global issues that lie ahead. As we heard from the panel, the crisis in the Eastern DRC is a challenge for all of us in the region. Rwanda has been heavily affected with devastating human, political, and economic consequences of the crisis. However, Rwanda has nothing to gain from an unstable DRC. On the contrary, our vision for prosperity is tied to regional stability and economic cooperation. If I give you an example, in 2021, Rwanda exported close to 700 million USD worth of goods to the Democratic Republic of Congo. In 2022, Rwanda also, our exchange with Congo was over 33% of our total exports. Why Rwanda would be a country with an ambitious agenda for socio-economic development and at the same time want to jeopardize this cooperation. So Rwanda's best interests and economic ambitions are better served by peace, not conflict. It is time to move beyond simplistic narratives and focus on facts.
We have to look at
and solutions.
Please. Yes.
Thank you. What I was trying to say is that we are not accepting the finger-pointing strategy because we want to know that Rwanda has the concern and Rwanda has never attacked the Congo and will never do so. What we have done is to ensure that nothing can cross from Congo and jeopardize our security. I thank you very much.
Well, thank you for your remark. We are not able here to resolve the issue, and we don't want to have a debate on this. What I propose is that maybe you'll try on the margins to talk to each other. I mean, this conference is about peace through dialogue. So instead of making declaration, maybe you could sit down and talk, and maybe the UN can help doing this. I don't know what is happening right, but this is not the right way forward. Kaya Kallas, I think you have to leave. Thank you very much, and thanks for still staying here. Thank you. Another question, yes, please. The two ladies, and you agree between yourself who is asking the first one.
Thank you very much. My name is Edith Kimani. I'm from Kenya, and I'm also a journalist. My question is to President Tshisekedi, because you said that it's important to work closely with regional organizations, but they have to be credible. And at the same time, you've also, on many occasions, called onto the international community to say something about what's happening in your country. So the question is, do you not try
Mensaka power jackpots ya zabomu bi e chere wodo Mensaka Mensaka Valentine's Day e chere no do na ye ri na be change me the 14th February Valentine's Day it's obe here dey be chere no do zama ye na do na re chere wodo na cash ball side dey me raza power jackpot modern yan dey be for mobile phone na be dial star 274 star 10 hash chain bi o star 274 star 10 hash na enter draw na ticket krubia ye 10 Ghana cedis. Into the more airto tickets and now chances of winning a susura nor call. Nay in a business boom gag. First prize in here 10,000 Ghana cedis. Meraza. And then 10,000 Ghana cedis. Now 6,000 order dona was spread in the bonus. Yours in Uber Shembia Subenya crash and how far. Any bema vase befe wasanaka da cash that no confuse. And Simone ya in the beshas. Now Begumedamara bogum. Never Begumusa. $1 star 274 star 10 hash. Now win in the big which we love one. Mensaka. Valentine's Day special easy. Busy dog. Now ya sena can cash account. Get no confuse. Mensaka. Chagum nezin big.
The average human body mass should have at least 60% water for optimal performance in any physical or mental exercise. We can help you maintain it naturally. X Natural Mineral Water. Simply natural. For bulk purchase, call 0596 273 546 or 0596 273 547. This advert is FDA approved.
Je vais commencer par la dernière question sur les discussions avec le président du Rwanda.
I'll start with the last question about talking with the president of Rwanda. Yes, we've done that on 15th of December.
Il a brillé par son absence.
A peace agreement was supposed to be signed, or negotiations were supposed to take place, but he did not come. He attacked us and he violated the integrity of our borders. And for this reason, the question should be posed to him. And given the most recent events, of course, that is an affront, and we now have to address that. We are resolved to regain the integrity of our territory, and we will achieve that. It's now up to the international community to take on responsibility.
The
international community is armed, and it has supported Rwanda in the past. Rwanda is exploiting Congo's resources, so it's up to the international community to do everything to prevent this conflict spreading in the region, because we will not accept this kind of behavior. But there are other countries too that feel threatened. Burundi, for example, they've closed their borders to Rwanda, and there are also other countries that are thinking of what kind of position to take. And of course, it could lead to a spillover in the region. We will assume our responsibility, that's clear, but it's now also up to the international community to do the same.
In this panel, we concentrated a bit too much on the DRC. On the other hand, this is a conflict that is happening right now, where people lose their lives, and so it's also good for this conference not only to look at Ukraine, but also look at what is happening in the DRC. When I was in the UN, our African colleagues in the Security Council always said, well, African solutions to African problems. But I understand from what you said that we are not there yet. But I can only tell you from the experience of the European Union, it is really very important that you have these international organizations, the African Union or the regional organizations, that look after these problems and do it through discussions, debate, negotiations, and of course, as you said, they have to be empowered to do that. So I hope also that we make some progress there. And thank you to Volker Türk for being here. He is the one who is defending human rights. Not an easy job for him to do. But I think the most important is, and you said that before, on the UN, on the rules-based order, we have to go by the law, we have to go have state principled, no matter who is the culprit, we have to make the point, otherwise we lose the credibility. But I still believe, as I said in my speech, we don't have an alternative to the Charter of the UN, to the Universal Declaration of Human Rights, and thank you for confirming this, and let's work together to make it better. So thank you very much, and again, thank you for the two African presidents that you are spending your time here, but it's very valuable that you bring the issues here to Munich. Thank you.
Memo akwaba deba TV XYZ baby awa wo hwe me bia asaso na wo awutie power 97.9 FM. Ready aya to the day inside politics Friday's edition and then also there wa we need to say a Valentine's Day. And tin sembe brena na ego bamba so aye ba ebedi ehon enkomo. Mama fast the PAC ma the executive producer of the show Mr. Kelvin Asante. Saso na technical team omobo mechidom Mr. Eye Raf Jampo, Uncle Peter, Mr. Emmanuel Kisi on sound on Emmanuel Nete, the two Emmanuels and son over cameras are Francis Willie on it team na bomechidoma ye did medi bro and to be will be admin fat when sa NK Fidiano. Aha, ye TVXYZ Power 97.9 FM. Mikhail says stream live or Power 979 FM. So also that TVXYZ Ghana. No so Facebook Osha Obi and Sana YouTube here. XYZ broadcasting. Will be to me Ashedumedi. Baby a dream I am quite above one crato. Na mempe X natural no water bimbra. Na meba kai se ende a vast day. And there ye be di amayosem. Ye be din komo with the kesi so. Ken Nicholas remedy. Me ba ya.
Ifo kra na menyisika edia ye mefui.
Ehin fa na menya bosia edia tre medwuma yimu.
Kai kra mabre me bosia ato taxi foforo. Suhum Rural Bank.
Suhum Rural Bank.
Yema kwa baba Suhum Rural Bank. Ye won hye ya hodo bi te se dwedifo abosia, ekuokuro bosia, susu account. Eni da so wo ho savings account. Me bada chain savings account. Ene de keka ho. Suhum Rural Bank was 03422919896. Na won so wetumi aka se.
Suhum Rural Bank. Ama ene mayeka una.
Suhum Rural Bank. Enti me pa minie.
Suhum Rural Bank, growing our heritage.
Simon Wakwa babyum the bat TV XYZ baby I will hear baby I will so Power 97.9 FM. Mama can say Valentine's Day's edition of Inside Politics. Now we hear me na we tie me and day vast day. And see a tredo e dia maya dofo ye tredo dia mebusiafo ye tredo e dia maya damfo ina. And to baby I will be ano and Hana Ghana Kasa, Hana Ghana T, Hana and 70 now war a bright inside politics, Jumedi, Yedi Brewi, into my mechanics, and then ye corn or donkwa. Na ye corn or donkwana ye be ye ama your seven quasso, eba or my Ghana Muna ye bedi hunkomwe. Na me cow say in the mensaka, a ye Valentine's Day, jackpot, and then a becoso, and Tisha Sena Sandy, we say, and nano ye bedi a home and comobe brave. And Sana, ye beshe Jumedi Nasi, who His Excellency John Romani Mahama. No ni empenifo kasa kwan ye befa so Africa titru eniama betumi akonkan na imo His Excellency John Dramani Mahama we kopiem wa brochi me o de sambebre na no de atudwa efan African security because Africa ye security no question mark wo ho kakra na His Excellency John Dramani Mahama akan bibi afa ye security ho bambo efan Africa kwan a o say ye bambo sem ye tutu ye ma bibi etumi konkan me pese be ko na yakɔhwɛ ɛyɛ saa kasamfoyin a His Excellency John Dramani Mahama ɔde nkomo to dwa na kyerɛ kwan Africa ye security ɔsɛ ɛyɛ na sipi na sita moma nkɔhwɛ embra.
What is the new system that you would want to create both for trade and aid, assuming that the US is doing what it's doing? What is everyone else going to need to do now?
Well, self-reliance is not only at the national level, but on the continental level. And there's good news coming out of Africa, like she said. Most countries have ratified the protocol on continental free trade in Africa. And that trade is beginning to grow steadily. We're able to export tariff-free into our countries. Of course, there are obstacles because our trade channels have been the colonial trade channels between us and Europe and not amongst ourselves. So one of the things we need to deal with first is how we develop the infrastructure to be able to exchange goods amongst ourselves. Already, most countries are allowing free movement of people. And so if we have free movement of goods and services across the continent, I think that it will fill a huge gap in South-South trade, and that will benefit all our countries.
And do you think that the actions of the Trump administration will accelerate Africans' determination to do this? Will it finally actually happen, the African Free Trade Area?
Definitely it will. Definitely we will learn to be more self-reliant as a continent and to trade more amongst ourselves because there's a lot of room there for expanding trade.
And His Excellency John Dramani Mahama na yete in Kano. Efano me ekoso Africa wo hwe nanse me ekoso bebre a ye DR Congo ha adwene ene Africa nkasa ene na we ni we mentem ho ase ne ntokwa ekoso ne ha adwene yi enti ho komo ni bi na His Excellency John Dramani Mahama ode tu dwa me ne wina no ye hwe na ye tie bi no His Excellency John Dramani Mahama ye kasa oni mede no oni mo kan no oni mo ye papa yi enti ya ade o se ye ina ye tai ne chi na vision the term Paul or the more my Ghana no Nina to be Burma be to me conkai and see a hona no odin common on African security. Menuna ye to me a hubino and see FA papa. Now and summer echo benino the new patriotic party NPP a year or more a year organizer national organizer friend Nana Boache. More national organizer friend Nana Boachi bidona friend and a B. I a press conference in Sembi Atuja na ayemi won say nipa bi say MPP mpanifo bi ayomon fere omohumbu omohu Nana Boachi national service in Sama be humbom because no ye board chairman de ma national service boss scheme no enti ye beko na wo de ye nkwatie nsema Nana Boachi or the two a press conference and na ye ba mo say catcher na ya catcher no.
The President's directive to the Chief of Staff instructing heads of government agencies to nullify or to revoke all public service appointments made after December 7th is poorly conceived, illegal, and profoundly damaging to the hardworking Ghanaian. This decision contradicts the core principles of job creation, which the ruling party promised through its 24-hour economy. We were here in Ghana, we were told that the 24-hour economy will provide jobs in the morning, some will go in the afternoon, others will go at night. So what happened? Mr. President, in addition to its devastating effect on individuals and families, the directive lacks legal foundation and compromises the integrity of Ghana's public service recruitment processes. Public service recruitment in Ghana is not arbitrary. It follows strict bureaucratic processes with multiple levels of approval. Before hiring a personnel, any agency must obtain financial clearance or board approval from the relevant authorities. In some cases, even from Public Services Commission. You must secure financial clearance from the Ministry of Finance, incorporate new hires into its annual budget planning, and adhere to specific timelines set by the Ministry of Finance, which often spans months or even years. So the processes of recruitment is not just an event. Ladies and gentlemen, it is absurd to suggest that public services could bypass all these public agencies, could bypass all these procedures after December 7th, 2024, and illegally recruit staff, the mere date of appointment does not invalidate the due process that was followed before these individuals were hired.
Enti Nana Boache Nana B or national organizer the New Patriotic Party na or Kasano. Yembisa say Nana Boache Nana B more can on one kasa wadren huana. Or person say directive His Excellency John Dramani Mahama Ediman the Chief of Staff Unyam for Chief Julius Debra mo oditu Jano make us say no nyadi or money edgeman or say His Excellency John Dramani Mahama obilivi wo 24-hour economy no why say ade oyibi mu efi ho na yembisa say NPP aso mo nkai omo ho ana mo nkai asema omo ba bedwe mu omo ba ba mu asema owura osafo mafo a no ye senior advisor to the president and Adodankwa Akufo-Addo omo ye ya na it is a NPP ya to abawi na or say abanfo froba mo lusu a na why en 10 term I employing Kofo after December 7th. No person what saying. Dear no person what say. Says ya no a friend is saying demonstration and I say and some more mokeka any money or more ye wa ba be press conference answer me obeka say ai na ye be yin Kofo edi Owura Mahama ni chief of staff why na catch you na wan kasa bi so ye tu ade so a wo ko o se wo di echije ye tu ade so a wo ko na wo fa nipa. Huh? Edi adwem boni, edi adwen sa na ta sa de echi. We Ghana ni atie ni yo. Abanse sa aba, yato aba, we lusu. We lusu a. O say we hand over the man a new government oba no. But the one no what shall say how employing Kofo, what some Kofo egum say just say wo bok egu ho ama ban no. Abra o mine anka say hieska enye say o ma form no mo nya Ghana fo o mo ye Ghana fo but o senche nya abotre e the due process nya adwuma bi kura clearance ma bata ho peprinti mo for save for sanko fo ewrem nana bi dweno ho na wanka say o party na esi o mu tu o mo pamo wan bo adwuma yes o no national organizer no o bonko press conference o ye die na ewum asema okay dey nyansa na ewu mono mo kwa na amahye da afafa nkofo ewurewure mo no na chese adeso na mesu aban no aban ni nya abotre embra entutu ne yemaye no mfa nipa no ma rasia hye nkofo ahye directive na baaye no enya de ye bone yen kase o mo asabe wa sa de ye fu o mo hye mo nya Ghanafo but obi enim say ye tu aban na aban foforo ba wo kwa wo mfa nipa nhyehyem munya abotre na ututu niema ye na aban ne ba wafa nipa but ya to aberie December 7th on the 8th na mo lose 9th na mo sha se fifa nkofo why why we be ya press conference His Excellency John Dramani Mahama onyo no an ka say 24-hour economy no obi be ye adwuma na pa ye adwuma wia aye adwuma anadwo wa asema woken nana bi mamuye ntieye mo kwa mo afofa mo guess ni wa mo nkofo bi ahyehyehye ma mo nya abokyere na ban foforo no kwan ode betutu ya afa nkofo uri abeka se ya afa nkofo be yi o madi na wankasa kwan ofa aso edi fa nipa no eye me kaka kai osafo mafo eye 2017 nsamo mo ditu dwa nsamo mo ka so mo mafo me ye ile o mu na of makofie and then obeka se sen MPP pa mankasa no my confused wo hwe mo ne ye ne ekwanya why my confused wankasa na bi no wa party for so wa bon omuhu national organizer wa bon sin say da wo pese o kasa na wo party for kasa na bi akasa o na bi ya de ana seden nipa ne de ombe kofie no bi a reapply na ma for due process na fa nipa no ene nchese John Dramani Mahama NDC aban chirobia but you were the right process for crime paso never fa nipa no eja bread dan no yetu afima wo kɔ no na afi na wo ba fa niema bi ahyehyem ana wo ba fa nipa egu asem we wodwe ho a wonti ase we che se MPP aban no Ghana fo hwe ne ye o omo ye nipa bonefo omu ye dipa bonefo abra ya to abakra na yenye handing over emfema His Excellency John Dramani Mahama kra yedum lighter mo anana mu ye ncha nso na mo boni din John Mahama didum sabo na nse mu di akorisam ne atro can say your friend is saying BEC on metre ye jenkwala na exams is 550 enye no kre. Why say mudi trosa? Why say mo pesa mo ya na mo penti John Mahama black? Why say mo pesa mo ya na ka say enkoyi? Enso man mo na masɛ no. Mo di o man na kwa chi. Ha? Ghana bra ye brain na ye MPP fuo yo. MPP aban na nado danko Akufo-Addo ne Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia na una na bi ubeja ka say galamsey akobe na na wuntubi wa wura Kennedy Japan kan o se na na bi galamsey utubi ubeye board chairman edema eye national service na modi nipa 81,000 over modi go same say GG salaries Edeman kofo na minim se hwehwemu koso na minim se san kofo mo kase omo ye we nyina no ye behu omo to very soon Ghana fo nana bi why board chairman the ama national service we di omo akotena ye pani wo ho eda national service in and over 81,000 ghost names hey what do you want say MPP fu ye mamboy fo MPP aban we digana ewu and the way and now you just say Bejina say hi your friend is saying His Excellency John Dramani Mahama the 24-hour economy believing and John Kase bi mun kofi wo so mo fa kwan paso de fa nkofo na je beka so mun kofi ana on ka se opamo omo but obi anko no apply na yem fa due processing phobia hwe Ghana for me de me ameti Nicholas de ne kra meka ne say anase mo senche ye ne sem na dwudwi mi susu ne mame ewo mitirim de bia ne se MPP aban mo ekọ wo mo afa so edi Ghana wood mama e mo mba aban mu bi ye mo ntino opposition 100 years because mo di Ghana wu ebra ye brain na afie MPP foi na nado ne Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia ne na bi yo kase ebra ye brain na sa ankofo nti na ye bre hwe nniema diegu ayebasa no mo baaye omo ne omo abusua ne omo girlfriends ne omo adam fofo na minim say His Excellency John Dramani Mahama ne second come nya na bai wabe me say ye be yi omo to baako Ghana ni bia wo hwe me na wutie mi a MPP ne kasa ya Bonigala we menhwe no because onkofo no mo ye wudifo MPP fu ye wudifo ne kwa na me ka che no omo ye mamboyfo omo mpemai ni yi ekwan o mafasu ebu o man Ghana no omo ndwene Ghana fo ho omo ndwene me ne wo a wo hwe me ana wutie me time me fo ho omo aye omo hu yi na me His Excellency John Dramani Mahama me jinidi me ji Dr. Dominic Ayinidi se ombetumi amamra na ye adwuma bebi a ye wie sika akwhye bebi a omfa oye state niema akwhye bia ibetumi agene baako mo wie sika ne kogu bebi be ka kire se na nkofo a ye se omunkofie no enye se eba ne saa ade sika ne mfentu omuka ade sika ne ye mfentu omuka ade yenye budget yensese yihuwe na mo pese o chese wage bill no ko itirimo bone adwembone nti na aba no ho nkire no na akwese aba ni niska odi betu yankofo ka na akese ye kai His Excellency John Dramani Mahama will take you over as a president enye 1 month 1 week ana yesimi enso MPP fo ne pese mo yanche John Dramani Mahama ho kire no John Dramani Mahama obre adwene bone na me si me besi wo national service ho ne de minim say His Excellency John Dramani Mahama say omunye investigation ensem e be fi ho beba no reke no furiato so medical aka the doctors the letter aba bono so ye wanted tie me so ye dey or ye wanted nti baby o wo bia no so de no ho aka ban o se waje bamo se wayiro no so beba nti Ghana for asema na BK de ono ni moka ono anka so gina ono to hyehye no na very soon the best expose sankofu ni na ama omudin abeto ho na mewo ho bia so abanti MPP for do mo kasa yembo mungu mama yemfo mu serious was omo nsam omo kani na no enya ade a sebiwa yebeto yama ye hwe ho His Excellency John Dramani Mahama stay focused when our appointees mo mama dwene nko nepa ne adwuma pa mo pese mudi ma o man Ghana no na bibia ntumi nkonka nti ade atene no a na so esi enda no na bi asem de yembongu na oni bibi papa bia de maye eye yenua A+ woko eye East Central Regional eye Gomua Central me Gomua ni anti Gomua Central eye member of parliament A+. Ono so ade ensem atudwa efa no MPP omo leadership nsensem hu ekwanya MPP for ye omo niema omama niema agiegu muma yenkotie A+ ensem oka edifa MPP omo leadership hu niema agiegu nmbra.
The NPP leadership the NPP leadership is not a serious one, and I'm making that very clear to them. They are not serious. They don't know what they're about. I think they have not gotten over the defeat that they encountered not long ago. And so I had to go where I'm wanted, where they're serious about running a country. A day after the election, Atuforsen called me and indicated that he wanted me to caucus with them. It took a long time for the MPP to approach me through Kennedy Japan. And even when he made the approach, and when I came out and said that he had made an approach, because they are arrogant and they wanted to do it behind the scenes and put in and some deals that they were not truthful about. They came up and said that, oh, they never said that, oh, it's not true, oh, you know what I'm saying. But that's exactly what happened. And so I had to caucus with NDC. They have shown that they're serious. They have shown that they value what I do and who I am. And so
NT A+ Gomwa Central Member of Parliament. Now also no de oko as independent candidate and ti onono oko no na wetumi enwini na not shim wo hwe MPP leadership a make omo asemi a I say omunwini ye no akwa say His Excellency John Dramani Mahama winni na aka omadwene nti Lucy nankasa no aye popu bribri na wo so omu popo sa also wo hwe ono A+ call parliament no owura parliament no wo hwe ma ekwa ye friend is saying is NDC side no Dr. Atuforsen omo approaching ka say A+ ye be pese oba be ka majority no ho na woni yen edi adwuma na o say MPP de omo de fa honorable Kennedy Japan so ye be kai obeka sa asemi MPP fo so omo oboa onka hwe omo ni nhia omo ne yan mo kai o say ahantan ewo MPP mu ahantan Ghana fo ntie ne sa ahantan nti no mumbu ye na ya yesika omo besom yen omo di yesika nti na yeji omo afi o American what ya say nti MPP ankasa ahantan o say ahantan mafa Kennedy Japan so abeka o A+ beka ye ho kwan on fa so obeka krom say ntisa but also wo hwe NDC amayeku a wo hwe leadership omo parliamentar wo hwe His Excellency John Dramani Mahama wo hwe amayeku no mumpanyimfo kwan a omo fa so etutu omo niema chese NDC aye krado so mbetumi ebu oman Ghana NDC aye krado so oman no ombema afanuntu pefra NDC aye krado so ombema Ghana isini dedem no bia kase Ghana aye dedede NDC aye krado so ombeboa momano etumi afanuntu pefra nti we na aye A+ so odi tu dwa me ne wo ye yina ya tibi nti wankasa wo ho so hu se no kre pa NDC amayeku ne betumi aboa man MPP ne bi pepe bi admai omo aka asem na no ma san dia hantan no mo de na ama eniema atumi agiego until the eternal na and that's so National Petroleum Authority NPA CEO lawyer Eduji Tamaklo or embark on working visit to Santio Oil refinery tema oil refinery otumi kopie mu ho kɔhwɛ adwumadi a omudi na saa ekwan anase adwuma kwan na otumi kopie mu na ɔne ɔmo kodidi nkɔmɔ hwɛ mɛtie ɔhwɛ kwan ye betumi yankasa no ye fango no ɔmo de ɔyɛ ne ba ye bɛ nane no asɔne so a embo ye ka se to se bia ye de nam countries bi eno na ama ye petroleum products ne ye ni na no se bia na ekosoro no ya ye tumi refine no ha ebetumi aboa ye otama oye refinery ampanfo gise hu sikadi ye wo hu CEOs na nado aban no mu ye wo hu board chairman de bi o mu discuss na edwuma no friends say what oye refinery ni si wo so na ada no white elephant a omo mfa nye hwe se si ade CEO aba NPA CEO Edoji Tamak lawyer papa bi ose okọ akohwe sentinti a oye refinery we wo ho a ye bresa na mienu etumi abom aye adwuma aboa asonson oye no so na ye nyina ye ho atoye yitumi yesika etumi atobi na Ghana ye ni etumi age moma ye hwe lawyer Edoji Tamak abro obo apro ekopie eye Temoye refinery oni eye Central Oil fo ho moma ye hwe
also plead with you going forward to get as many young Ghanaians involved, especially in the technical aspect of your operation. And so I'll plead with you, consider that key. Maybe annually you have a program of where you'll be taking about 5 students from our universities, those offering this kind of specialized courses, so that you integrate them with your Chinese technical people. You could have gone to any other country with this investment, but you decided to come to Ghana. So what we will do, where I sit, is to ensure that whatever is required to make your investment worth it, we'll do it.
Light group. We deal well with API in the range of about 28.5 to about 37. If you see that start there with green brackets, that is the new boiler, the 120-tonner boiler we have installed. It is about 85% complete.
Enti lawyer Edoji Tamaklo ono no CEO de ma National Petroleum Authority aproba ande oboye oko eye sentio oye refinery sanko pim ya ye dim tem oye refinery no ne omukodi nkomo no ye ka sentio oye refinery na ma otre ne say ye ono no ankrankro dia Chinese for no mo bebi wa ono no de to omanim aka kire omo say ojidi say ma basa mo beye ebeboa no mo hwe nya ne pepepe mama bibia nda ho fan na nye kama because mo amoyi dem na mo say Ghana mom na ye bebe ye adwuma na ye mpese edo bedroom bribi no na adwuma na bibia wo ho nti mombra na mombeboa sa so na Temoye refinery enim say refinery na dan white elephants for so long eniema bebre na akoso so na nkofo agi akotua de bia edidi na ye yipani akoto ano so be make sure say Temoye refinery so ebetumi aye dwuma kama na bibia etumi akonka nti we ye eye lawyer Edoji Tamaklo na proba ono so oboye sisia no ye gidi say oye refinery mieni be ye dwuma na Ghana so bibia etumi akọ enkan edi amaye nyina. When you say nde Valentine's Day nti ye ka say nde Valentine's Day no endo ende na make say ende o ende na make us say Valentine's Day jackpot no ye baby ano na obi age nani until no 160 million in Kanus can 160 million in Kanus can 160 million na ende due ya dia ye beche ama nkofo nti neya na ye beche saa sika no 160 million na new currency ni de ye bekasa 16,000 mobedi kan ni benya 10,000 and as kanus can 100 million saa sika na ne ye de bema obi bia obedi kan ansana 60 million so and 6,000 so ya spread it ama oye omo ka ho bonus sa hro no so nkofo bedi nti ne no meti bi odo ho hyema ubenya kakra e de ahwe how far we ye chewodo edition na ye de ma wo TVXYZ and a power 97.9 FM any bri and I say we mi nima ekoso ana ma wo ye ba me ka che won say ye krado na sha say for mobile phone my family mobile phone say CIO my family mobile phone there na wo so wo ye but star 274 star 10 hash a star 274 star 10 hash a star 274 star 10 hash me pacho wa wo hwe me ya wo tie me and the Valentine's Day e bia make say boto no munye sika ni ho but try wo lack and na mensaka dwumedie wo so etumi anya sika e de abo ataso na wodi etu anamon enti de eteno no mensaka eno na me kanfo e de amount sisia eyende ya ene ya na obi benya 10,000 Ghana cedis ene ya na obi ebenya asika ato no ho nti de na wo twen menim bebi a wo hwe me se wo boko wo goso wo sunyane wo takrade wo axim wo sehrio so wo akontombra bebi a wo hwe bebi ano mensaka ende ye de bro mensaka dwumedie ne ye de bro gidigidi pa ti ne obi ti beye ye no no so enya 100 million cedis akofie and obi ti beye ye no no so enya sika ato no ho minim ma wo hwe ye meka cho se mensaka rafu we de matibia nda usu bedibi omo mudi na omo nse no nche se de bia eto ankofu di pa ma meka cho se nda wo so hwe a usu bedi na bibia tumi akonka nti de na wo ye na nse obebo star 274 star 10 hash shase na send gum ba ku bia 10 Ghana cedis nti wa wenya be 200 Ghana na wo bona ba ko 20 times wo mpe we na opedien de na wo twen mensaka and then me pesa so nya dwete lajan no kofiu sika asema bronika na wa fe ne se cash eno na me kanfo amo mensaka de na wo hwe ne me kwan and me sende wo benye sika papa enti ya shase na unim secretary wo ma bebre nim ne se wodi kan ye ne ntema eboa ma utumi enwini eya bebre na atwen ya no ya shase kasa don ya bondwo me kan asem na afi no ye sa time na so ubogum ntem bogum we say 10 Ghana cedis 10 Ghana cedis no the 10 Ghana cedis what but 10 Ghana cedis egum be 200 Ghana be 20 abako 20 na nda wo de 100 million cedis ye na wo twen wunja ne babia aje Power FM ni TVXYZ mensaka and then ye chewodo yesu ye chedo na ma also wenya sika no kofi la jan kudi also di ahwewa for me say ni bre nipa bebre na na bepie adofo bepie eyermo ne okum bepie empenafo bepie nti dia na wo so wo twen and then ye mensaka and me se den nde ti dia na wo twen yenteme dia na wo twen yembungu musa menya ne ntie se wokwa wo se kropon bogoso kwan so self filling station na wo ho no yesumo bien hu ha echichiamo monsa aka no mfa mo hu nhye wo se kropon bogoso kwan so self filling station yesumo bien hu ha a TV so radio so a mo hwe na mo tie yen nti mo tofu wo ho ina drivers ni na mo nhyase drivers no ene omo ye adwo ho ina mo mbongum wo wo se kropon bogoso kwan so nimsan kofu tofu wo self filling station wo mumbongum sa mamintia ose ade yo nana kofi atochi minim se wo boys ne twon ho ahia nana momu na ntobi wate momu na ntobi no mo fo mo ho nhyem wo se wo de wo pe MC ya obetumi de asomdwe aba oni MP be ye adwuma oni chairman be ye adwuma kama wo Amenfi East constituency tibitia minim se mpenimfo ni mede omode MC papa be mamu amen feast na obi odi asomdwe beba oni Nicholas Amankwa MP oni chairman na Kofi Atochi be ye adwuma na asomdwe etumi aba eye Amenfi East saa na ye hwehwe enti wo de wo sema wo hwehwe no wo no mom de baba bi obeboa ma ye akoyi odi echese asomdwe nkabom beba na wo hwehwe enti na Kofi Atochi matese mo hwehwe pa mumbongum Nicholas mo Madina mumbongum aha and then no mpese dodo na ade omani beto me so wo say na me so mo mba bia ameko wodu ani to me so a emboa untem si bogum and then kofu be pie na wo by 7 8 na wenya usika pie na wo mpie and the kroma ye den kran wo fa bebia Ghana de bebia age go so pe na nde ti se within wo dem go so de na ewu ti wo a wo be pa ho asema advice de wo be pie gimu bombom no abrafo no be twa waba nti age go so pe yi go so fi wo mudi are ho a Ghana bebia advice de e boss waje so ye friend esiso ekoso nti enne no e yododa wo benya drete kakra na wene odofo be pie se mo be di ne fie so amakoje drinks kakra ba be no mo mpe we no opede daligumu star 274 star 10 hash make say Lizzie ahwe ne phone so saa obefia Lizzie no kokko oso wo me de kwa akra wa share red nso no Lizzie onemu pa say Lizzie oyebi ose ne dofo endi ono so betumi adi and then man so be ye show omone omo boyfriends no be ye show we ye ba man kase de bia na mo de mada ne sombro na mo twa fi mema ho wo so try wo luck and mensa kan Lizzie won try mo luck wa be kan Lizzie ho no so the rasta no mo be ye ne den mo na ye makeups wa ha me nso obi afa no phone na Kofi de o manity so o se kai ken and that ye ye be jama ni o kan anya no ho na and that ye me aso me ye show me say Kofi Kofi azante the boy bogum Francis de on de enya Church of Pentecost makwara wa all pair jackpot papa nungu assembly obogum de na wo ye for phone ma fa me phone me bagum because me so me pese ni bring me to me pie nya kakra e de say ni momi ka chense ma me jedua osunya kakra na fo bo wata ado na modo pa enti de na wo twen enne no mensa aka eno ana de good TV wa wo hwe TV na de star 274 star 10 hash mo amutie radio no star 274 star 10 hash agbesi se be fie te sen we see when our boys in na blimpi any brian pay bedwa minim se wo so wo bogum cause ya beba be no pa any bri ti dia na wo twa mumbongum na yenkwa yenim mensa aka infanti say ya mo pa ho age da afe and then we ra ho but we be 200 Ghana bi o why say mumbongum we no send ya ba ku bi 10 Ghana ticket no and we are no more at least we to bob 200 Ghana cedis we go ma we are 10 or 20 we are we bottom 200 Ghana cedis na we are 10 papa spread no 10 na yenko yanim 100 Ghana cedis na aka 10 minim say enne no mempese e chamati se madam for bi say oh vast day no bi ejami o vast day na ne man koyi o mentumi amfa wifi empie mentumi antoko kokura ma wifi ma wanom woso mentumi anto bebi ama husband mentumi anto bebi ama my boyfriend and then man mu na mu mfo mo ho nhyem mo bedi na wato bebi ama no me say nipa no bedi kan ne de no benya 100 million old cedis 100 million old cedis na 60 million old cedis no ya spread it ono obi betumi anya nkakra to no ho nti wa do wo be hye de ende metibia no wo benya sika kakra ato ho wo mpe we na opede en mensa aka nti ende Valentine's Day what ho jengle na ye ka ho ase mensa ako ende ya anti yentem na enche wo be hu se we filiga doch woni tuema ye ndi njaw TV na so ya kokere na wo number na bedo so kai na wuti ayeyi nti na mensa aka metibia no ye percent ni bre obi sutumi to bibi che ne dofo obi sutumi ne dofo pie ma hyede ma che eya no mo change environment mokwa abonte kra kwada kakra wo baabi ade chi amabo fie no so efe ta na tie nti de na mo twen mensa aka eno na make camfo de ama obi bia enti se wutie mi a ye monitor tew na yende mensa aka bebi edu ma menja aboafo nkrato ba ko mienu miensambra ende so apomde honkomo wo ho ye wi a Kofi Abusia Penny oye national communication team member NDC betten enka saso na beti Kweku Boateng so enka Kweku Boateng so ye deputy secretary Eastern region de ma NDC amayiko no so ye betten enka me nkoja aboafo nkrato mbra but mensa aka ne de yende bogume eyenko yenim le besesia
Messi menananu aguru basa abi brabro tibedo imlenu na ma premaye.
As for me, I take very good care of my grandkids. Ye di agro na yes eduru mre bi kra na me ba no timide omo be gumi so weekend no.
Hey, mumle
memre. Hey, anu ntina me ka kire o say ya no medi garlic capsules. Poso nyina ebesisi so kama. As I stand here, my doctor said my whole system has improved very well.
Medi
garlic capsules. Yes, Medi garlic capsules.
Oh,
Medimosis garlic capsules. What mamoja di nipadua ni mu efru sani yi na esiesie oba ne barima ma hon awodin. Ubenya edoi bi ato omanyi mu pharmacy store frɛ yɛn wɔ 050-349-4885. Edroyi enye mamofra enye ndi fie dumienu. Apemfo ene emma emanofo. Medimosis wunni how FDA ajidwe di nkra to yi ato.
Upon your arrival, you are introduced to your butler, who plans your itinerary. So many activities, all in the same purpose. Visit the gym or the stables, they have it all. At my break, I'm able to practice my putting. They used only electric vehicles here. This creates a serene environment. I'm told it's over 1,000 acres. My cabin here sits on 2 acres with a large terrace space overlooking my private swimming pool. Now this is royalty. They have their own farms, thousands of fruit trees. I can also have my lunch here at the waterfall. Quite a beautiful place you have yourself.
Mensaka power jackpots yes abomu bi e chere wodo mensaka Valentine's Day e chere no do e win in the bay change me the 14th February Valentine's Day it's obey dey be chere no do zaman na do there chere wodo na cash ball side dey me raza power jackpot modern yan dey be for mobile phone never dial *274*10 chain bi o *274*10 na enter draw na ticket crew bi aye 10 Ghana cedis. Enti the more to tickets no. Now chances of winning is sura no call. Na yi ne bezi ni boom gegege. First prize in here 10,000 Ghana cedis. Me raza. And then 10,000 Ghana cedis. Na 6,000 order dona. Was spread in the bonus. Yours in ube shembi asu benya kakra hwane how far. Eyi be ma vaze be fe wosina kada cash shete. No confuse. Enti bode ya inde be shase. Na begum damara bogum. Na re begum so. Ebe *274*10 Let win in a big with we love one. Mensaka. Valentine's Day special easy. You busy dog. Na ya sena can cash account. Get it. No curfew. Mensaka. Kagum nezine big.
na ede na aya obayi a oda forma so ne yafunu mu emunumuni.
Oh, Mr. Entry, also ya titi bi ben fie pi nanso ne yam nyono da. Se me chew no ahodo amato a me hunu hwe a ebe ya nwanwa.
Menyi ni se what ulcer tamfo Hexa capsules any Hexa mixture yanum bom kotia ulcer no bia ma no anom. Anka ne ho ato no dadaada. Ulcer dro de eno ne Hexa capsules any Hexa mixture.
Ankom ni nchiremu.
Ulcer yekura eto yefunu ene ensunumu. Etuma wo yefunu ekeka wa. Wogire wo ho a enye. Ulcer etumi ema wo ye cheko ebra wadidi awie. So how eye ulcer de a compare Hexa capsules any Hexa mixture nanum bom na ho ebeto.
Pedudu atu a ko okanshi drug lane Kumasi Dani Herbal Takradi AA Mensa Anafre 020-3822-855 Apefo abatanya wama won mofrenofo ene mofra woni mfie dumienu enka ho Hexa capsules ene ne mixture
Ulcer tamfo edie age adwadie nkrato yi atom.
The serene environment fits into the goal of the school, which is simply to provide excellent educational foundation for your ward's development before they commence primary education. At first glance, clearly you will see why the school is called Hebron Hills International School, as the building stands tall overlooking town. With a Montessori style, we have experienced and dedicated staff and trained teachers. Our small sizes classrooms are meant to enhance teacher-focused approach where children get one-on-one attention from the teacher. Hello there. We are open at 7:30 a.m. and school closes at 2:30 p.m. After school care is from 4 p.m. to 6 p.m. while early drop-off can be arranged at 6 a.m. Hebron Hills International School is located at Midye off the Nsawam Road. Locate us with GP postcode GW0688 GA West and GPS code 06884870. You can contact the school and make further inquiries on 050-876-2375 or call the office directly on 0302-918768. Email us at hebronhills.school@gmail.com. Hebron Hills International School. Excel and shine.
Mesamo wakwa babium either ba TVXYZ baby a wo bia no wa wo tie mo Power 97.9 FM no memo akwa ba de ba dwumedie so baby adua nche kra ye ne Dr. Abozo Subedi enkomo na ensema andra minority no omo ye pressure no ya diagnosis ansem no ye dimon komo kakra na bibia etumi akonkai ensemo ho ensemo ho nti wuyi wo channel no fi ha mfantin so wara o say woma aha na eda sa so na wa wo tie Power 97.9 FM enne akoye fiare na akoye vast day nti ya na ya romantic kakra ye ha ehun lie no na ye de atum kakra nti de etene no baby a obi admensa aka no sende bo 7 pepe na ye chesika no nti ya na waka aka ho na bibia etumi akọ enkan metene se enne so metibia no okan kwe south constituency NP owo ade a no so ye betene nka wo show no so nti Ernest Adoma akoke omotibia no ye betene nka wo show no so ende ye beti Kofi Ebusia penny nka ye beti Kweku Boaten so enka nti ma we fidie nkoso na ha ya na ye ko yedi komo semadu aba ye ba ensem ho papa and day Valentine's Day me gidi say nipa amene ne bedi nkomo owie ye osanko akoto adwuma so okwahima because o say nne no otummayen o mayen secret ni bi nne say enne no me feel say doctor from now akosi 10 p.m. and we adwuma utie me a enye obi asa Dr. Abozo me amete hey de make some your testimony me no sabi wa me num wadro da ana wo ma me akwankyere da me betan television so ana radio so nkan wasem na maka cho say inside politics program we no a program a omunimde omo ye credible na eno omo baso anti obi a oba dwumadie so eye ni product ana ni business obeka ho asem no na me pa cho be bro credible oma wo sense form eye agbozo herbal eye clinic na ye ne no ebedi nkomo papa we waboa mema aye mema waboa mamba aye ma anti me frɛ no mema samenhia ma tenka Dr. Kofi Akwaba why sweet
yes
we be have call there
nyame adom ajekum ti ase na ye frɛ no saman no ofrin samampu na sabade obse de ntiama de bia bohu ye na yankopon adom ye koye ni mu se ma me ne kan twa obi a wo hwem salute me ma obi a good afternoon wo team radio na wo hwɛ me wo TV na kinde tie ni ye num aduru ye dware aduru ye di aduru edino ama all the time no bibia economy totin ema adwuma no ye bone kama etiene nso ye Valentine Day de na ma me fa kwanya we so ema enkrofo ehunu se Agbozo Herbal Clinic say no quick start ekopim ochina no ye adwuma papa wa o de no cha nwi ansa na beji so no de mpacho enye no na ye pe na emom no ye pe pa nwi na ekonenim eno na ye pe enti ene day aye Valentine e wase ye dida no na yema eda no enye de na enye fe ene 14th of February 2025 Agbozo Herbal Clinic yes a vast day oye oba oye be mana utie mi a ene eye adofo ensem awarefo ensem ene wo mo twempena ensem ene wa opese wo twempena wasem na de be ya werɛ ho sem ne se ene de nso na ye be da wan hwe obi yiri ene ne girlfriend be gya no efri se oye 1 minute man agoro no onka ho bi yes be ma bi a wo hwɛ mi na oye 1 minute man na wuntumi ma oyiri enrich ni orgasm agoro no wafrim o wasa problem na kai hunu se ye tete abetie no ne cha na yeguso a ye chi wo ye be ma na se wo hwɛ mi na wo premature ejaculation problem enkwa they are the only place I would do any better no Agbozo Herbal Clinic me pacho ye tried and tested o buy aso ye hono me pacho bebia sexual problems no she biara na doctor ye benum asuko na yakwa arrest sa problem no na ye yine fira mo ho ato enti sa premature ejaculation no me pacho number na good screen so no me ni wan kama sha ase airframe na ma me ni kan chiro say branches no ye wo miensa enkran hanom number na edi kan na wo hwa Kumasi etosumienu ena tema etosumiensa enti no premature ejaculation yesa erectile dysfunction yesa diabetes prostate enlargement yesa severe pal a cause hemorrhoid obi a ne kokobu epiana ojane na ya na sabi eni de mu a ne kokobu eba no eno so Agbozo Herbal Clinic yesa ne ye papa ebia no wenya high blood pressure wenya high blood sugar eno no eboa ma be ma no tumi ko form papa enti wa ebia wo pressure anasa wo sugar no utumi se wo me ma sem no ene enye me pa cha Agbozo Herbal Clinic agi ato ye ho so ye moto no ye se no man has an expiring date be ma bia ni hono mo ane mre etwem ena obi wo hono mo se doctor me be ma no ewu na me bisa se kosie ni wahimfa obe ma wu a ye kosie no wonse na wo die wo wani mu a sebi producer ensie ye na chese ada oba Agbozo Herbal Clinic ye be mo waduru me say 3 days 1 week no na wo de ne nya adwuma a ye kojo to no na odi bu adwuma ye wo records no wo hono empanyifo 80 70 hono eko no mo na ya na me taba me to challenge we mo no mo banso ade bia no Agbozo Herbal Clinic prove mo hunu say yes ampa edru wo hono mo enti empanyifo ne bebre etimi frɛ na mo hyira Dr. Agbozo Nyankopon hyira enye bibia sebi be me biara wo nam hono de bia me ka se ye yi u third leg ana u be mana na broni friend penis e the free wanimu a wadane wo ba yes ade ma e make a difference between male and females per orgasms no what you say ana say organs no sa na menka no eno ena ma ye soronko Into the Sabema or now Bema nye Juma pe, Kai Hunu so no yere na what dem no, Munina mo ye pe. Into the so any sexual problems, erectile dysfunction, premature ejaculation. Now sheme ewo TVXYZ agbozo ya ba ma. Na mo no baby a wo bia no, men kasa wuntumi mba. Tu anamona bra ya so Kumase. Ya wadichem so me 5 Old Insurance Junction. Adentina yempon ye. Efita mi a kokopim se 7 bebo kra ba ye baba behwew. Adentina untu anamo na ma. Kwashiman ye wo Kwashiman eben Kwashiman ahemfie no Chiefs Palace no Udu Kwashiman traffic light a obusa agbozo heba clinic ye sambot kese pa. Esi honum ewo Kwashiman traffic light ewo enkrai hanum ye sambod no esi kwan no wo traffic light wo agbozo heba clinic esi honum. Tama your community 25 Savannah Junction ehone wo ena Kumasi dichem so me 5 Old Insurance Junction. O hwɛ me a numbers go screen so na mo amutim already no so no wo Accra ha no mo a frame me e was 0241 75 0282. Accra ha is 0241 75 0282. Ana Kumasi A 0553 41 77 52. Kumasi 0553 41 77 52. Ana Tema 0557 40 26 96. Agbozo heba clinic ko hodum na obeba ne aye treatment no e de ama emfa wo so ya brantie ebetumi amwa dane 1 minute sisi a ode boss wa na yirim na aba bese ena ma no so empene sa krakrakrakrakra o Johnson kitinkiti ye be ya ma wo me pa cho yade ama bobo so yi ye typhoid fever no eno ene malaria se oba agbozo heba clinic ye be ma na ejuma no soronko ne sem yawa machines a obema no kra no sabi preduasa ye de usi machine so ebetimi a kire se obema no we hormones ana testosterone no ena sa ana se erection transmitters no ebi nya adwuma oba agbozo heba clinic ye be prove ni nyina kire nti obema no de ya ye fifi mu ne hu problem kro no ye be mo waduro 3 days time no na obu adwuma no kama o wo Kwashiman ana se won kran ha sorry ye wo Kwashiman e ben Kwashiman Chiefs Palace na pay number is 0241 any Accra 0241 75 02 82 0241 75 02 82. We penny o we Accra no from the age of 18 years now with premature ejaculation. The only place now Agbozo heba clinic who Dr. Agbozo solve problems no e de amount. Ena owo Kumasi a 0553 41 77 52. Tema 0557 40 26 96. Na debi ameka se emema wo mo pe kratwere pa ro be mo twekra pa no dodo na ye 1 minute men. Bema sabi won che wo ba so bia no pe kratwere pa. Enti be mo twekra gidigidi bia ho se ne mpena ana ne kuru ani obi di nkomokra na akoma gidigidi no. Sa be ma na ye 1 minute man because on to me nye adwuma no e ma na yire e ma na mo ti se ne girlfriend ana na yire ne be ma foforo bi di nkoma na adwene ye ne se yiri fanachi enti sa onya de wo mpemu a wo bema o da na adwukura wo nna ena mema no amo mema anya adwuma no ye bema kura na se wo bema anya adwuma etumi ma onya high blood pressure o pressure kura koso e koso depressions na de ade enti ne ye ka kire se bra Agbozo heba clinic na ye ma o treatment a o sexual life no will never be the same me pa cho se o ye oba nso na utie me na infertility how awasem wo obey ya wo hwe mi unim se ana uti unim se wukunu enya ade wo mpem me pa cho for better for worse nti me pa cho so ne nsa na fa ne brag Dr. Agbozo ho so de be come branch wo Kumasi anaasa wode bɛbra me branch ɛwɔ Tema anaa wode bɛba branch ɛwɔ Kumasi Accra ne nyinaa no Agbozo Herbal Clinic treatment corona na yɛde bɛma wo enti to anama adenti na mfa wo ukunu ɛmfa ne mmra yɛasoɛ na yɛnsa ne yadeɛ mepa kyɛw yɛse asɛmpa wei ana etia yɛbɛtena ha no mu ale mo wahunu sɛ bɛma nwu ya de bɛma enwu no man has an expiring date me moto we bato challenge ya ma emema na di 80 90 ni emema ni nyinara obi abom se doctor we prove ya me hu ade ne say yes indeed utumi ye de wo ka no intino kwashima na hanom ye 0241 75 0282 ena oba Kumasi ya 0553 shiame wo Kumasi nyame adom ochena ekokopi Monday nyinara Kumasi mema nyinara mehwe monim samo beba 0553 417752 Tema 0557 Tema fo mu nhia yen ye ba behwe mo papa ye ni abre afi ye mpese bema biara ebe ka kire me se me girlfriend ajame ana se mitumi mu adwuma 0557 402696 me ye sexual weakness expert ena me to one papa enu ho adru pa de o de ba ye nchen ye betene te enti yade bia ya modin no Fabra Agbozo Herbal Clinic yan kan de ana chese nya ni nyina ena betumi atena ha chirichirim na mmom se prostate yade ena ha wo be ma bi Agbozo yete de te yade biara ha wo a utumi se ama wa yemre ema no so awo asem efichiri kwa asem untumi mfa yefunu de me pa cho awade de okwa enimonyam kese na ya wo be ma bi so a wo hwe me o de ne de to na mmom no se utuo to a ya na wabo a hukum ne na kire sampa onim tuo to na me ka se obema ye adwuma na sa ngo ban so me be na aye be me sorry me the last numbers na atudwa o ban kran na wo hwe be kira kwan ya number no go screen so 0241 750282 Kumasi 0553417752 ena Tema 0557402696 ye adwuma Mondays ekokopim Saturday and then Valentine to about 7 o'clock p.m. cry ye be show fraying say oba ye be train after na momni ye normal working days na hours near from 7 o'clock a.m. and pani upon 5 p.m. debiarada Sundays no after church debiarada ye wo honum enti be me biara wo hwe me no mentwen ema wa wade papa bi engu mentwen ma wompena bi emfirim so na wo nso no a afi na wo kwa awadem we are branding advice afi na akọ ware no ana oba afi na akọ Agbozo na be test na be problem awo yen solve one so na akọ awadem me fa ye moto no no man has an expiring date sexual weakness expert and now to make Agbozo Herbal Clinic same time next week me that's sorry now team
Mamenda Dr. Kofi Asepa Papa Agbozo Dr. Agbozo na yetene nka baby awo bia no etu anamo akọ ende ne chine weekend yo say to me esapa ye ho na bibia to be konkai emom weekend focus nti ebekọ ye chi na yakofa minority omo press conference ensem omo kan ye efe no ora keno foriate declare wanted no ho biom minority chief whip minority chief whip no so den sema okugina anodompre okokan na NIB akase oye wanted no mo enkotie sansem ni bimra na yen delve into it yen timra
Mr. Ken Oforiatta, in what can only be described as a state-sanctioned act of lawlessness. These armed officers, despite repeated demands from Mr. Oforiatta's on-site security team for a warrant, forcibly broke into the house, ransacked the premises, searched every corner, and upon finding nothing, left. As a matter of fact, the government was fully aware that Mr. Oforiatta was out of the country seeking medical attention, having informed both the former and current chief of staff about his whereabouts. Yet, they proceeded with this reckless display of power, exposing their deep-seated desire to harass and humiliate political opponents under the guise of security operations. Video footage from Mr. Oforiata's residence shows one Richard Japa, a known NDC activist, recently tried in the ambulance purchase scandal, leading the raid conducted without a warrant or in accordance with the law. The reckless abuse of power executed under full military backing signal a disturbing shift towards authoritarian governance, where brute force is now replacing the process and replacing due process, and political witch hunts are being disguised as security operations. It is nothing short of a state-orchestrated assault on individual freedoms and an alarming escalation in the abuse of powers. Similarly, on Monday, 3rd February 2025, the residence of Lord Comey, former Director of Operations at the Jubilee House, was raided with his vehicle unlawfully seized. Former Minister of Defense, Honorable Dominic Nitiwu, was also targeted as security operatives chased him down and forcibly took possession of his vehicle while it was at a workshop. For such incidents to occur under a government that once vehemently condemned the use of military force in political matters or for political ends is not only the height of hypocrisy, but also a shameful betrayal of democratic principles. The very leaders who cried foul over what they claim to be military intimidation while in opposition are now wielding state power in an even more reckless and tyrannical manner. This is not governance. It is a hostile takeover, reminiscent of regimes that thrive on suppression, intimidation, and fear. Today, February 12, yesterday, February 12, 2025, the OSP, subsequent to the raid, has also, without recourse to law and due process, announced at a press conference that he considers Mr. Oforiata a suspect and a fugitive. This is shocking. When no charges have even been proffered against the former finance minister. Another matter that demands the attention of the public is the glaring bias and selective justice being exhibited by state security agencies in the administration of their duties. The National Intelligence Bureau, the NIB, on Monday, 10th February 2025, wasted no time in summoning the Minority Chief Whip, Honorable Frank Anodombre, for questioning over comments he made concerning the disputed Ablekuma North parliamentary elections results. His words urging MPP supporters to protect their own were swiftly deemed insightful and required interrogation at the highest level of the security apparatus. Yet, when Mustafa Bande, the Deputy General Secretary of the NDC and Deputy Director of Operations in the Presidency, openly declared on live television on Friday, 7th February 2025, that the NDC would sacrifice the minority leader, Honorable Alexander Afenyo-Markin, the NIB found no cause for alarm and did not summon him for questioning. Neither did they demand an explanation for such utterances. The NIB did not also find it necessary to investigate what was an explicit and direct threat to the life of Honorable Afenyo-Markin and a deliberate attempt to incite violence against him. Mr. Gbande's comments were dangerous and a criminal incitement to harm the minority leader. It was a direct attack on his safety and an assault on the very principles of democracy and the rule of law. This glaring double standard exposes the dangerous path this country is heading down. One where justice is no longer blind but selectively wielded against political opponents. If the NIB is truly committed to upholding law and order, it must explain why the minority chief whip was swiftly summoned for interrogation over his comments, while the deputy director of operations at the presidency, who openly threatened the minority leader's life, was allowed to walk free without consequences. This double standard raises serious concerns about the selective application of justice and the use of state institutions to police certain political figures while others are allowed to act with impunity. If public remarks are to be scrutinized, all individuals, regardless of political affiliation, must be held to the same standard. The silence over Gbande's threats, while Honorable Arnaud Dampre is subjected to interrogation, suggests a politicization of security agencies and a dangerous precedent where loyalty rather than the rule of law dictates accountability. We will not remain silent while political persecution takes root in Ghana. This country belongs to all of us, and no administration has the right to weaponize state institutions against its political opponents. We demand an immediate, transparent, and independent investigation into these politically motivated attacks and insist that those responsible be held accountable. The harassment of former government officials must cease immediately, and due process must be followed in all legal matters. The use of security forces for political vendettas points to a dangerous descent into lawlessness, one where due process is cast aside and state institutions are weaponized or harass or silence perceived opponents. This undermines our institutions and erodes public confidence in governance. As such, the government must demonstrate political maturity and tolerance by fostering an environment where opposition voices are respected rather than suppressed through intimidation and coercion. No democracies can survive when its institutions become weapons for political vengeance. No citizen, no matter how highly placed, is safe when due process is replaced with brute force. If we allow this lawlessness to continue unchecked, tomorrow it will not just be politicians who are targeted, but ordinary Ghanaians who hold dissenting views. We call on all democracy-loving Ghanaians, civil society organizations, religious groups, traditional authorities, and the international community to take note of these dangerous developments and to stand with us in rejecting this wave of political persecutions. If unchecked, these abuses will set Ghana back decades and erode the democratic gains we have made. The government must be reminded that power is transient and history will not judge kindly those who turn state institutions into instruments of oppression. The path this government is taking is a dangerous one. We will not allow tyranny to replace democracy, and we will continue to champion justice, fairness, and democratic governance. We in the minority demand that if the government is claiming no knowledge of such actions, then we demand from the government that all those responsible for these actions must be arrested and prosecuted immediately. God bless our homeland, Ghana. Thank you.
The Honorable Patricia Appiah and Ayatene Nkano, or Deputy Minority Leader, Onona Odin two, and some of the two joining now, Fano, Ora Franca, not on pro, Minority Chief Whip, Nensembio Kojina Ablekuma North, na Okan, say, who say, Unia NPP, Nini, NDC, ne Kwa, can Hono Mumbo, NDC, Nino, and then I make her say, NIB, aha. A National Investigation Bureau, Sana, Sisiani, a kind of first BNI, or Matun Safra, no say, and some be a whole kind of being here, so baba, no begin, no Matutunano, and none 7 minority nature say, or Montiasia, a who be no mutu sin or home, but what's answer me now, would drink one and Tiasia be any Manzano Rack and for Riata, or then home I can ra, Bessie Yen no, reckon of Riata, the end of the day, Atun Safra, Nipo de letter, or the father doctor. So the buy say on to main time or bebadi or say declare wanted. And see Casa Bebre Honorable Patricia Appiah or your Deputy Minority Leader. Okay, you know, say Urakan or Ken or Furiata and some more or more caninano. Akoye bibia akoye se enim guase se ompese se bi omugum penifo na bi enim ase titi penifo a omo NPP abem but enye enim guase oraka no furiata ye de man no e ma no so no no hwe yisikasem na enema akoso deals ahro akoso SML asemi ene esemebri akoso a ye hia so se ebisa na no asem se also wo yare wo de for doctors so time obeba de indefinitely nim time a wo pese wo bo my Ghana mbe yiwa no intimate bia no OSP and some of the two dwa no so ka say declare wanted no dika we are Ghana ni or say what ya say minority some mo kan nti ase bia nim minim say Honorable Patricia Appiah na nkasa no ma ekoso no ono ankasa na press conference bi no mo ye ne keke ba na dream no oso hu say enye right. And you're right. Uraken of Furiata or Soba. And ye declare wanted that when yadia or so be over Casso, na say na no crack sem na wakan. No crescem na wakan. Unti no de OSP akase ye declare wanted that ye hian baby obe honi bia waka. Na minority ye Mammy Appiah and some more candy, menene yadrini. Then did ya do say ye. Frank anodon pra some kind no enye basabasa ye no pese odeba Frank anodon pra enye basabasa ye ukoje o baby ka se woni MPP ni NDC ni kwa kan hono mbro no as a member of parliament na ya to zafra wa obey sa press conference om ye asema ma make say over 12 minutes bibi o ma mon kan share me and some o kasa in 10 na bibi o ma mo de mon kan share me bibi eni na asema o kan emu. Because asemo kanina no mo defense kan wonsem na minority yantiase ni nyina ya de kopo enyanam because kofo na mo ayi no mo aka asemo mo kan ye no ana adwumadi omudi na moa ti eto nse from a esefeta ese fata so say to nsa from na minority mu de bibia na mu di akire obi opese ode basabasa ye ba ode chaos ba waka bibi sa na invite na mu kasa afa ho why na obeka say asem o kan na ya asem a di nka bomba ode basabasa ye na de ba Ghana na ye pasomdwe o Ghana no e asomdwe man nti wo bepese ode basabasa ye ba no anya do say so Ora Franka no dem pre ama yehu ni nipa ban oye. Wa ma yehu ni so ono no sana ono no krompasomdwe. Because ye hwe vet na abreso omo ye vet hwe niema bi oye hwe o kan ho bi na wa matche so e de si table so omo ana ma table no so no mato na microphones ana mo nkai sa video no. Enye ora no dem pre nti nipa bi sa no wa demonstrate ama yehu se onyo bi a ode asomdwe ba. Wama ye hu ni nipa ban oye enti se wu tie me wo hwe me a ensam tenti a minority kan na owura ken oforiat wodi esika na enye SIC na efa no eye state e bia omo ensure oba na ogema ono ankasa na adwuma enterprise insurance owi a ye bosi a ye kwagi na omo ti twobo pa na oti wom enti owura ken oforiat de Oda yaren paso krana yenene beba. Oda yaren paso krana we feel so say yenene ba because idea enye say so mani hinska. Sike bia akwese baby bia o say yetuminya. Yense tumika na ye hu meko enti ade eteno no. Beto so mienu a me pese no so ye hwe week in focus. Ye hwe Dr. Dominic Anyeni. No so den sem to dwa na mo say on His Excellency John Dramani Mahama a clearing agent. Na wo cases bi o I see ya. Ye gusu a ye di ho asema. Why so ba na obeka so sa cases in ye twemtin ton time. Be na kre state ni interest bi a was ansem no. Asem the evidence any witness beba ye ni evidence we di we beba nsem be bro. Common example ya Alhaji Agongo ni Europe ni mo nsensem ina. Enya do say so enti nsem bi o we waste time ejimre ebenya say twam na wa be chim say enya His Excellency John Dramani Mahama no o catch and say lawyer ni penin when we attorney general injustice nti yentwam o so no ankasa o so lawyer ni mapa onimede to tena ho no hu say we ambo aman yenyi yimfi ho because asem na evidence bi eni ho abanda de twem ko o sheda no person fasu no di gumpenifo eni mase nti owura say do Agongo bank a friend Heritage Bank enam se sa de nti wo se nasem munti o nasem wo court nti igu ne bank we nyina kasa ho chance ni bi ni a wo be kasa ntesa yenko ne nkoti Dr. Dominic Anyeni no so ne nsem odo tu dwa efa no kwanti a ema cases bi o ho nyia na ha oman no otwetwe mu.
I consulted widely and reviewed the files diligently before coming to a decision on each of the cases. You would note that in some cases, such as the SNIT case and the banking cases, I withdrew the charges against some of the accused persons, while others are still under consideration. I am keenly aware of the need to balance the public interest, in this case, against the interests and rights of the accused persons. Also, as Attorney General, I take absolute responsibility for all the decisions so far taken. I am not under any instructions or pressure to discontinue any case or to bring charges against anyone. Those who are in a haste to tag His Excellency the President of the Republic as a clearing agent should hasten slowly, because he is not responsible for prosecutions and has not directed me to drop any case. Moreover, with the exception of one charge of bribery in the Opuni matter, in respect of which, no evidence was laid, none of the persons affected by my decision so far has looted state resources. There is a gulf of difference between the offense of causing financial loss to the state or misapplication of state funds and the offenses of bribery, corruption, or that of using public office for private gain. In the latter offenses, the individual charged can be accurately labeled as looters. In the former, it will be thoroughly unfair and actually defamatory to label the accused persons who have, as people who have looted state resources. In criminal law, an accused is entitled to know with precision the crime that he has committed and the burden that he must discharge in order to prove his innocence. This is basic criminal jurisprudence, and the charges in this case, and the other in terms of the cases affecting the other accused persons, fail to meet the standard of precision required to put an accused person on notice of his criminal liability. Ladies and gentlemen, the third reason why I dropped the charges in some of the cases was that the evidence adduced so far fell significantly short of what was required to convict the accused persons, and yet the state pressed on with the prosecutions. I consider that to be a total waste of state resources. As noted by Puamang JSC in Afoko and Attorney General, that is the case that I cited earlier, the prosecution may enter a nolle prosequi in situations where, upon review of the proceedings, the Attorney General detects fatal flaws in the case which may lead to the acquittal of an accused person. In other words, a nolle prosequi may be entered to avoid possible verdict against the prosecution. My review of some of the cases certainly revealed fatal flaws in the case of the prosecution. A few examples are in order. In any decent constitutional democracy, the disgraceful and unethical conduct of the former Attorney General, the Honorable Godfred Yebo Adame, in interfering with a key witness who also happened to be the second accused in the Atoforsen case, should have resulted automatically in a mistrial. But let us leave that for another day. Ladies and gentlemen of the media, the second reason why I dropped the charges in some of the cases, as I stated above, is that the charges were defective and upon careful scrutiny were filed against the promptings of plain common sense. Ladies and gentlemen of the media and fellow citizens, my decision to terminate the criminal trial was animated in the main by three factors. The first was that for ethical and professional reasons, I could not in good conscience continue to prosecute some of the cases. The second was that for some of the cases, my own review and analysis of the charges showed clearly that the charges were defective, and some were filed against the promptings of plain common sense. The third was that in some of the cases, the evidence led so far that showed that there was a reasonable doubt as to the guilt of the accused persons, and no prosecutor should continue to pursue a case in the face of overwhelming doubt regarding the guilt of the accused person. Also, it is important to highlight the fact that in most of the cases in which I have terminated proceedings, the conduct of some of the individual judges left so much to be desired. I will deal with the issue of judicial conduct in my concluding remarks. Suffice it to say that it raises a specter of lack of fairness in criminal proceedings where a judge is seen to be overly hostile to the accused and unreservedly differential to the prosecution. Now to my first substantive reason for dropping charges in some of the cases. As I have noted above, for purely ethical and professional reasons, I could not in good conscience continue to exercise my prosecutorial authority under Article 88, Clause 3 in some of the cases. These cases were the Republic versus Kesiel Atoforsen and another, and the Republic versus Ofosu Ampofo and another. In the case of a Republic versus Stephen Opuni and another, the entire case was built around the fact that an untested liquid fertilizer, Litovit, was purchased by Cocoa Board, and further that the fertilizer was not efficacious. In the event, according to the case of the state, all sums of money spent by Cocoa Board to purchase this fertilizer caused financial loss to the state. Rather strangely, not a single farmer was called by the prosecution to prove this fact. On the contrary, officials at Cocoa Board who were invited by the investigators gave statements to the effect that Litovit fertilizer was one of the most effective fertilizers purchased by Cocoa Board, and that the farmers preferred Litovit fertilizer to the granular fertilizer. More importantly, in the course of the investigations, Cocoa Board took statements from two farmers. Whilst one stated that he did not see any significant change on his farm, the second farmer stated that after using Litovit fertilizer, he saw a significant increase in yield, and that Litovit fertilizer is a very good fertilizer. Again, in the course of the trial, the defense tendered an official report from Cocoa Board which covered field visits by Cocoa Board officials. The report, which was tendered, was to the effect that Litovit fertilizer is a very good fertilizer and that farmers actually prefer it to other fertilizers and was the fertilizer of choice in areas in which Litovit fertilizer was supplied. This is clear evidence that, contrary to the case of the prosecution, the use of Litovit fertilizer rather increased the yield. The farmers who used Litovit fertilizer, including the then national best farmer, in their evidence testified that Litovit fertilizer increased, the use of Litovit fertilizer increased their yield, and that it was a good fertilizer. During the course of their investigations, the investigators had two reports from Ghana Standards Authority on Litovit fertilizer. The first report, which was later confirmed to have been done, and listen to this carefully, members of the press, to have been done at the Cosmetics Department of GSA, the department which does not have the mandate to test Litovit fertilizer, okay, indicated that the sample of Litovit fertilizer submitted for testing did not have any fertilizer ingredient in it. This finding was challenged by the accused persons and the investigators, together with representatives of Cocoa Board and the suppliers of Litovit fertilizer, took a second sample from the warehouse of Cocoa Board. This sample, which was again tested by the same Ghana Standards Authority, but this time by the proper department with a mandate to test fertilizers, concluded that the samples taken was fertilizer in the first place and that the fertilizer was efficacious. Furthermore, it is interesting to note that in this case, the complainant, that is Dr. Edu Ampoma, who was the third prosecuting witness, PW3, lied under oath to implicate the accused persons, for which reason a perjury application was filed by Dr. Stephen Opuni against him. The then trial judge, Justice Hoyenuga, for reasons which are totally unacceptable, did not hear the application, but rather stated that hearing the application will prejudice the hearing of the main case. He therefore adjourned the application until the conclusion of the case. This is most unacceptable because in a criminal trial, it is important to hold the scale of justice evenly, and any doubt raised must inure to the benefit of the accused persons. I took the decision to withdraw the charges against Mr. Johnson Pundit Asiama for a simple reason that in the course of my review of the cases, my attention was drawn to an internal memo prepared by the Prosecutions Division of our department for the attention of the former Attorney General, the Honorable Godfred Yeboadame, which recommended that the charges against him be dropped. This is very significant. This is an internal memo prepared by professional prosecutors advising the Attorney General that the charges against our current Bank of Ghana, the governor of the Bank of Ghana, be dropped. Note that Mr. Johnson Pundit Asiama was charged with contravention of the Banking Act for granting a facility of 300 million cedis to Universal Merchant Bank and for causing financial loss to the state in the sum of 150 million Ghana cedis. The internal memo, which I just cited earlier, concluded as follows. This is very instructive. It says, a study of the facts of the case indicates that the initial facility of 300 million has been recovered. has been recovered, leaving 150 million outstanding. This office has confirmed from the Bank of Ghana, that is, the Attorney General's office has confirmed from the Bank of Ghana through Mr. Alexander Tarr, that is PW2, prosecution witness 2, that the interest from the outstanding amount is presently being serviced by UMB Bank. Mr. Tarr also indicated that UMB has an amount of 150 million locked up with CBG, that is Consolidated Bank Ghana. It is expected that when the said sum is released to UMB, the loan amount for which A3, that is Johnson Pundit Asiama, was charged with causing financial loss to the state will be repaid to the Bank of Ghana. This therefore may render the charges proffered against A3, that is Johnson Asiama, Johnson Asiama, moot, leading to his discharge. So the professional opinion of the prosecution division was very, very clear that the charges against the current governor of the Bank of Ghana are unsustainable. In other words, factually, and then in terms of the evidence available, he could not be convicted of the offenses charged. Obviously, the former Attorney General failed to act on these recommendations which were made to him by the prosecution division. If he disagreed with the recommendations, I am unable to say, but I agree with them. Based upon these recommendations, I dropped the charges against Johnson Pundit Asiama in both the Unibank and UT Bank cases. In coming to this decision, I am fortified by the rule contained in Rule 40, Sub-Rule 2, Clause A of the Legal Profession, Professional Conduct and Etiquette Rules 2020, that is LI 2423, which provides that in a criminal case, a prosecutor shall refrain from prosecuting a charge that the prosecutor knows is not supported by the facts. But note that I have not yet dropped the charges against the remaining accused persons because I am currently in discussions with the receivers in order to understand the financial implications of any decision I may take in the future. In the case of Republic versus Collins Dowda and others, for instance, the first accused was charged with misapplying public funds to the tune of 200 million United States of American dollars. In laying the charges, the prosecution failed and or neglected to take account of the basic fact that it was part of that 200 million US dollars that was used to construct the houses at Sagleme.
Okay, enti aban lawyer penny Dr. Dominic Anyeni na yete enenkano o church munko focus His Excellency John Dramani Mahama a clearing agent no chim se sad decision no His Excellency John Dramani Mahama eni ho hwe but we di ayo no ankasa na oye lawyer penny a wakwadra nsem na hwehwem wo kwai adwendwen mu ho se we hu hia so se yedi eche na ma wa clear say issues hinina yes embren mamenkwa ahoma no so na me ne Dr. Jonathan Asante Otre we ne nkwedi nkomo san ye na or a lecturer with University of Cape Coast or a political analyst. Dr. Jonathan Asante Otre utie mi a memao aha area ediba inside politics jumedi so. Hello Dr. Jonathan Asante Otre. Hello.
Hello.
Yeah, Doc, but so nka. Memo ha at the ba my TVXYZ. Okay, yeah na adwo. Yeah na adwo. Memo adwo at the ba TVXYZ in Power 97.9 FM. Happy Valentine's Day so.
Many happy returns.
Okay. Yeah, that's a papa so mind ye nim sent ye kase kra no ade a wudi dwuma bi but de bia no frɛ wa wo mind you so ben den den kra na obekasa na ye humeko doc am say ye bo punu ma nye bone na 3 days ago na OSP odin sembe tu dwa na nsem ode betu dwa ne ina no efa no owura Ken of Oriata deals ahorow bi a ne ho bɔn mu a ɔsɛ ɔbɛyi n'ano ebi yɛ National Cathedral SML de nsɛm bebree na ɔde to dwa ɔkyerɛ sɛ ɔmo ato nsa afrɛ na ɔmba nti sɛ esi ano ɔmo declare no wanted ayɛ sɛ obi ehia na wapɛ beebi afa yehu no na ɔsɛ ne doctors so the letter by a ɔmo sɛ ɔnte apo ɔmo sɛ ntumi ankyerɛ sɛ ɛnɛ ana sɛ ɔkyena na ɔbɛtumi aba woyɛ obi a ɛyɛ Ken of Uriata waka ne nsɛm bebree mbere bi kwa na mɛka kaya MPC no bɛka sɛ ɔmmoa man no woka bia ka sɛ saa papa no deɛ ɛnyɛ ade a obɛtumi aboa ɛyɛ ɔman Ghana because bebree na so investment banker ɔmo so deɛ busia ya na ɔmo gye na ɔmo de business wohu ne sɛn ɛfa no ɛyɛ OSP ɛyɛ Kise Jabe ne nsɛm ɔde bɛto dwa ɛfa no Ken of Uriata ho
I'm say opening OSP at the Assembly at the baby a Chomukono or my own say, or a uncle Namo say, Alquanamo say, Nunquan and Nam. I'm say, we share this time and some of the two Jana. Not to me, Papa, we share the body language. And you could see there is that fresh air breathing, fresh air surrounding him. And so that is what I saw in Imediate to Ija. Certainly, you cannot cause such gargantuan allegedly, financial loss to the state. Na found whom the Totodabi, a baby a Chomukono, or my penny or Tiakunyaso, or my penny a Kufado. The only the philosophy and one is loyalty. So once you are loyal to him, and that is what it is. So whether you go wrong or not, once you are loyal to him, he will back you. Case in point is Madame Sister Dapa, and so on and so forth. And other, scandals are, you always go to the aid officer appointee before even the state institutions will do an investigation through that. Now, Hampshire Cathedral. That's a cathedral. Mr. Shraj, Opini Ablakwa at the Nsem Koto Shraj, the name of Shraj, and Shushemu. The Shushemu report of the buyer, and say they should bring that particular construction to a halt, and then thorough investigation be done. And ABC and D, those who are culpable, ABC and D should be done. So, obviously, from the way it started, we were all made to believe that it was supposed to be a private kind of entity. The only thing government was doing was probably providing land. Then later on, we saw what happened, using state funds to do something of that sort. A motion of censure was done against him. It didn't end where it's supposed to have ended. Tables have turned. So you'll have reason to respond to the queries. And interestingly, that is the OSP appointed by the previous president that is leading the charge. And on mentioning this SML deal, which fought a state, Penny Manasseh Zuri and the Media Foundation for West Africa, Penny, Madio Mudino, SML, a scandal, a scandal, Ketwa. Opening Kusipra to say the mother of all scandals. That is the more reason why some of us asked Dr. Baumia certain questions. He said, yes, some of us think that you're good material. Yes, but you've not also conducted yourself in such a way Ghana for Bejiwedi. But apart from that, if Ghanaians were to vote for you, can they really have accountability? Accountability about PDS, accountability about SNL, accountability about most contaminated, accountability about name them. Let's call
Hello, Honorable.
That lack of accountability that we're not going to get from Dr. Baumia is what really motivated most Ghanaians to vote overwhelmingly for Mr. Mahama. to win the elections, hands down. And to this accountability, it's something that Ghanaians are highly expectant of. And yes, Anna, it will be like I scratch your back to scratch my back. And it's all about politics and nothing else. So I think that what the OSP has done, I've heard people say, Argentina one farmer, Abrana, MPP Abai, executive in there. So that is neither here nor there. Nobody chooses to fight his enemy or battle with first giving a wrong foot. No, it doesn't work like that. I strike you when I know very well that it's your weak point, and I will make the necessary, I'll have the necessary advantage over my enemy or my opponent. So it is neither here nor there. After all, we know how overbearing the executive power of President Akufo-Addo was when he was in power. And you expected the OSP to do that. Secondly, on can also say at that time, no one really. And this is a time where we are officially also the figure. So that is about strategy, it's about timing. So what Mr. Oforiatta has done, I think he will have to come down to answer questions. He must equally think of his investment, because some of us, I have a funeral policy with this company called Enterprise Insurance. And so there is a need for him to divorce, or we divorce a person from his company. But he shouldn't also forget to say, years back, he took decisions that affected people's companies. And that is also not far-fetched.
Doctor, what share obi say doctor and I say ye show ra kweku ansa asaria o gine mo beka say asama kisi jaben o ka say crowd nto say ye pamono na o wonsem card dade why so untumi nka hwenim na ndie a OSP no wabeka na government official way I say nim guase emboa wotie sa asem a ye owura kweku ansa asare beka ye na say OSP no te say ma wo ken why say wentumi anka na binde de mu afi no person kasa mo bia say ohun adwuma ene meka ho no wo sa asem ne sen wo hu say ne kra na say papa no mo ka ye no enim te say mo so ka.
Well, he is liberty to voice that view or opinion against the special prosecutor. You can't take that in away from him. But as I said, my response, could easily answer whatever, allegation against you. The point is, OSP can say, some officer now you are Akufo-Addo Tiakunyem. No, an investigation in here. Simple. Let me hear. In Tadia mean here, no. Aaron Bitiga. Media tuja abra mewie. Simple. And your aside opinion aside your work on it is neither here nor there. Besides, we have a living evidence of this. From Mr. Martinamidu, the executive power overbearingly, was on him. And for him, he is a no-nonsense man. He wrote his epistle, called the president the mother serpent of all corruption, and resigned. So we are talking about two individuals with two different dispositions. Into the opinion side, they work on, yes, a woman there. But only evidence at the time I want fun to Jano, no way. In Philippine, where we are a human or the Atuja. And I think we must give him that benefit of the doubt. Besides, if there is a new president who has given him that refreshing environment, an environment that is more freer than the previous one, then of course he's choosing his battle carefully. There were other interviews so. Nicholas.
Yes, doctor.
Maybe.
But I know Kabibiana.
I'm saying other interviews almost of reference.
Okay. And lastly, Diana, so far Becca, OSP no, says Yano, when ya quenje casano to mean semno or cano to me dihujumana. Also be our Becca tra, but yentin was sembu. Diana wo advice OSP no Becca at Treno, was our issues here a beda bamba swing. Hello, doctor.
Hello, Timika.
Yeah, meet you, pa.
Ocean Attorney General to General, then it means that there is a need for that collaboration. But that collaboration is not to compromise the independence of the OSP, of which the Attorney General has already opined. And I agree. So it's just a matter of briefing him as to the jobs and the areas of investigation so that as state institutions, they don't waste resources in a parallel manner. Issues are we are detailed. You can get the necessary information, update each other, and then we are good to go. We are fighting a common cause. That common cause is to ensure that the state does not hemorrhage. Moja and two statements are because it is for good reason that the president is saying, this time around, this year they are going to celebrate the state march at the Jubilee House. What he has said, it is to cut down cost. You must cut your coat according to your cloth. These are prudent decisions on the part of government that will inure to the benefit in totality to the nation. A honorable woman said, one, there are 60 ministers, one for 89, 85, 126. Look at the savings that is going to make for the nation. So he says he wants to operate a lean government. That means that the state is not going to hammer it. And that, for me, is the one that is keeping him with that goodwill. So the same way, this investigation, they're supposed to collaborate to ensure, they bring those money back. And because it is not by fluke that a debt portfolio of 122 or 20 billion could balloon to 730-something billion in 8 years. It is not by accident. It is by imprudence. It is by recklessness. And it is by gross mismanagement and incompetence on the part of the previous government for us to end where we've gotten to. Because all far bucket and concern so now bound from a book and tenant. And that is exactly what the former president did to this country. And that's it.
Meso Medase, Dr. Jonathan Asante Ochre, or a lecturer UCC, or a political analyst. Na yete enenka anase yeneno edi enkomono ono so atwere na adwen wo kwan ya se OSP faso edi dwuma no efa no ria kan ofori atansensem no nti eno no na Friday nti mema akwenja ma wo so a wo hwe me ana wutie me wo so wetumi afre adwumedie na yedi ho nkomo na ansa na mebie phone lines no na wo so waka bi won sema ekoso wo oman mu no ma menko amuzu garlic capsules ho anasa amuzu garlic bitters mopoto so wutie me amuzu garlic bitters improve blood circulation ye so onya bi no ma reduce cholesterol wo nipadue no mu sa so na obi ho anansa na na ayetitiriti me pa cho bebre o sa anansa na cho ebo ye papa anansa na o hin no che wo sa so na control urine flow pa ye wo stroke patients e bi o ma me bi enya stroke wo pa bi enya stroke unu bi enya stroke unya bi ma na ebeboa no obi ho na ni so ai wusi enche na wa bre ene meka ho ni nyina no we yare o wonya bi no ma ebetumi abo amuzu garlic bitters eno na make am for amount enti pebina no na mbo oni piade na sipi na sita na bibia entumi enkonkan kuma se Misty Herbal wo benya bi o Dani Herbal sa so na KNG Herbal wo imrom kuma se Kolinak so wo Ashtown sa so na Freddie Mens wo Tafo Nina no wonsa betumi akabe nkra ha de woko Okanshi drug lane na na boache wo Hello Herbal Tenatet on a Kings Walk Herbal Nina no ubenya amuzu garlic bitters ni bi ato ma bibia etumi akonkan ope ho asema bi se obetumi afre doctor wo 0247 7767 43 na bibia entumi enko enkan sa so na me pacho bebre power specialist herbal hospital na free power specialist herbal hospital me pacho bebre yare friend hepatitis B and I say A and I C D E ni na no ade a wodi wani twemo power specialist herbal hospital Dr. Akosi Aduya on na pamfo betumi ahwe aboa ye papa fatty liver and sciatica prostate wonsa na wona na mu abu pain me pacho ya obi otu oni padue ma na say ulcer akanfo ye kano ayem crow sa so na compound na fibroid na how may come for a power specialist herbal hospital the amount. Power specialist about hospital, me patrol do any chimo ho, Yaria Rama Budi number here to me to Asiama Yepa. Kumasi branch will be one more for Yawson Lake Bosomche Road, opposite Jesbro filling station, will be home or more ho, Saso na me patrol bebre, Accra branch. Ye kwabenya akraba nchen ye kwabenya pokuase ACP kwan no so ha no so be hu omo ho takrade branch ne Anaji Estate adjacent Anaji MA Primary School no so omo ho woni omo ndin koma e 0244 544422 and 0200 383831 na woni penifo ndin koma na mbo bia so awohia no omo ntumi mbo na bibia entumi enko enkansa. Me pacho mega cash lucky box in the medruswo. Mega cash lucky box na medruswo. Also really big. Ono ye instant. And this a wood TMA instantly. Rancho obebo for mobile phone network bia. Obebo star 426 star 5 hash. TNE star 426 star 5 hash. And a mega box. Anti a mega cash lucky box. Now what dollar way ni we are no way nya abotre what dollar we are a 5 Ghana citizen but so boxes na beba no me pacho urema me won bia your dia na niam obetumi yen up to 500,000 and can 5 billion any achedia obetumi nya wo mega cash lucky box no mo until dollar say sia tisema e Kofi Asante any Francis L. Dali wo dali we are ebe yi box na show me wo box him bia e wa wo dia and the Friday wo so nya bia bo ta so na wo de dwuma enti mega cash lucky box na me di ho dance e de amount kai say National Lottery Authority e de almost stamp so na wundi 18 years and above dia we need him enya wo chefa enti mega cash lucky box star 426 star 5 hash na bibia into me enko enkai. What him say the Valentine's Day there na wa we ni tia say Safari Valley Eco Resort. Safari Valley Eco Resort. And no na nadri me ne me dofo eco. Cause one me dofo so Nico say change the environment kakranam so yebeko Safari Valley Eco Resort. Nti makache me dofo say we reassure ya by 8 o'clock ye de ni chemo Okra district na nye baby ase Safari Valley Eco Resort enye say ye kohwe mwa keke utumi da ho utumi didi wo ho nti me 3 days da manimi de me kodi no Safari Valley Eco Resort ho na me kodi me Valentine no nti mo be me Valentine so nim ne ho dada nti ye bekọ kodi ne ho na wokwa efe mo a ye nta ho mo home television so ana zoo Ghana cry zoo be kwasa ambwani na bebre wu mo but wo Safari Valley Eco Resort out wedi feliga dochi wo be hu sambwe e be a zebra e be a giraffe e be a mara e be antelope sahro ni na no wo kwa wo be hu sambwe na ho no mo na wotumi gina ho ne o mu twemfoyin pictures ne meka ho anti Safari Valley Eco Resort wo kwa ha unto hungry kra mo canal me che say insuo baby and nsuo ko twetwa ne se kwan na aye nsuo gugum sa enti wutumi de your friends say kanuni siso na monam so don send them swim na onam nsuo sa waterfalls so ho tieni waterfalls enti wutumi ko aho ye nwine papa ukotena ho na waterfalls e bofo ho fresh air sa so na mo obedi de eduane obedi no eduane bebre na ho mo be request no wonsa beka sa so na me pacho bebi obeda de rooms bebre wo ho a no so utumi da rest nti me ko akoda ho edidi na mahwe niema mahwe me ni so abonframa me di me Valentine's Day wo Safari Valley Eco Resort enije so na bibia tumi akonkan ye wo electric vehicles bi so a no so utumi tinam electric awuna musa na wo hwe hawa ho nyina ate efe yi papa ebia make say weekend wo ware wo betumi edimoni ache mo ho honeymoon makodi no ho ebia mo pese mo ye party family gathering celebration bia so wo betumi akọ Safari Valley Eco Resort na makoje mani kama na bibia etumi akonkan for reservation wo betumi afre 0596 9143 49 0596 9143 94 Safari Valley Eco Resort. Vaz Day any day be a one of our dolphin queer, Namunko Jimani, Nanye papa, na ye fa na ye. Me pacho Medimosis Clinic and Herbal Center Medruswo. Now Medimosis and Akofe Drubia be friend of Medimosis Garlic Capsules. Medimosis Garlic Capsules. Now may come for a diamond. Improve blood circulation. And membo jenny dear frusani papa. Obi owa no sending sat ne na ayititi. O cholesterol level no wasra. E be na check na brena city amount. Sa aso na niema bi embo ni pedua no ni pedua ma. E be ni na afi ho. E bio e boost immune system no. Ne enema to be mo sipita wujina peme anti me kan for Medimosis garlic capsules amon ono na me kan for edi amon pebinom wo yario wonyario oba obema o akokra o abrewa o ansa na kwalani no betumi ano Medimosis garlic capsules ne bi na bibia tumi akonka e ka Medimosis dia obi am se Medimosis ya clinic anti se Medimosis ya clinic a prostate disorders na me kan for edi amon bema se bi odwon so a wote yaw bema eto se bi obre yansa wadwon so yare friend prostate hawa gland no ho aka nti wo bre pansa wadwon so a wo kwa metumi ahwa mo why mbre wo mpem sexual weakness and so meboa bema no ba awo ayo problems also na hypertension, diabetes, sciatica, typhoid fever, malaria, stroke na how STIs, which gonorrhea, syphilis, brazier ne yare ahro chlamydia mo wokwa ometumi ahwe to asemo omo dental clinic ho nti omo dentist a ohwe num nti be pacho be bro person white na wo sen ana se make say wo person to wo sen no to kra be dem omo feel mo bibia fa no num bia no for ani chemo Medimosis no omo dental clinic ho a omo hwe omo bibia etumi akonkan Medimosis nya yira kwan wo be hu omo chira kwan wo a dental barrier opposite the police station sa so na AESL building inside Ghana Highways Authority Yard Accra Ministry swa omo ho Ajay Kojo opposite school for the deaf no so omo ho ahema kokobin santase oboase kwan so no so omo ho pa 0244 068 447 0244 068 447 Idini Medimosis Clinic and Herbal Center kwe na for mukodi jumana bibia entumi enko enkansa Victory garlic mixture na medru so Victory garlic mixture obi ho ana na koma bon prepare wa hu se we dey abnormal obi ho ana nsa na ayetititi se ananse na achew eya na woni so ayekusukusu me kan for Victory garlic mixture edi ama me manumbi na masahwe Victory garlic crowd de bia me kasa mentwen yare ansa because wunya bi no ma ebebo ye papa edru ne din the Victory garlic mixture eno na me kan for edi ama enti se woni so ayekusukusu betumi aboa mo moja ne die frusa ne ye papa Victory garlic mixture na me kan for edi ama Victory garlic mixture enye na wo Ghana herbal pharmacy and a licensed chemical shop bia and this a wutie me a for any chemo baby a ben obi also pe Victory garlic mixture ye mo bi no na bibia entumi konkan ubenim ni doctor ni ndin komo 020 129 3280 and 0242 545633 Victory garlic mixture or Cocaines walk herbal or Okanshi drug lena won sabe to me akabi na bibia etumi akonkan na meka o se and the ebo 7 pepepa mensa akadwumedie no ye de bebro and the Valentine's Day ebenya so obenya sika kakra obenya no kofi odwete la jan akudi asema broyi kan na wa fe ne se na ode abowata so ma bibia etumi akonkan enti me kanfo eye mensa akade amosha ase na Sunday eye star 274 star 10 hash eye star 2 74 star 10 hash enti wo send ya me pacho 10 Ghana cedis bi na betel dodo na wo de ebewrem no enwo so dodo na wo so betumi abo o chances of winning no na etumi akoso enti mensa aka Valentine's Day jackpot shawodo edition ope we na opede eno na make am for the amount enti de teno no mensa aka enye easy kra make say obehwe ndro na ene meka ho a lizi abo no twede kwa esewani ense de catch na mensa akende lazy so di vast day me won say man so wutie me oye ba wo so tade che wukuno kakra de bia moji fie ho eya na mo so matade a che kakra nti mensa aken oba ne be man na motumi de mu ho awuram mensa akon mensa aka ende 160 million enkanu sikano 160 million ye the bad new currency 16,000 na that's why ye spread the amu bibi ode ne ho be wuram ete me pacho ultimate prize no a 100 million old cedis and 10,000 Ghana cedis. Utie mi amobedi kind no na 6,000 and 60 million or so. Ya spread it at the ama. Obibia or didn't hube room bonus sente and that your meti we all do who room also benya bibi kakra ato and the Valentine's Day. Minim say ni break e see ye papa and the Friday nipa bebre na be pie anti sa netie and today na also wo twen na mensa account na me kan for e dia mo anti and that ye be pie we ya mensa account bia na de pie de akwhwe how far me ankasa kra me kan me de me hu rem because ehia me hia no kofi o me hia dwete pa dia na wo twen de boss 7 pepepa mensa akasho ne de bro but bogum sesia na me pacho so nya dwete no kofi o lajan kudi asama broyi coffee ne se dia na wo twen enti mensa account ba ku bia 10 Ghana cedis and there yes vast day ne pese me ye ode ye pese wan kasa no wo kasa vast day de why da na bibien to bin konka nti star 274 star 10 hash star 274 star 10 hash mensa aka na wo so phone room na and there vast day was wait to me day 10,000 Ghana cedis and I say 100 million old cedis na 6,000 na 60 million so ya spread ya mobia no bia ye wenti for room na any break was wo betumi asere ma bibia etumi akonkan ma menchia chairman na osi ade na Kofi Atochi chairman ma mente wonka na mete wonka ache ye papa michiao sa so any aid Davis moso mo hu na te say michicha mo amenfees to constituency when o NDC chairman ho nchia kese enkomo ye papa chairman michicha papa sa so na Mr. Samo kwate kote empomote say chairman circle mayor michiao jenya me chairman no so hum sa wom make say drivers 380 power 97.9 FM mo circle Ichicha wife mama Jemima na kote no so umpomote saying inchia kese enkomo papa maminchi oba papa bi Sophia it is saying Sophie de Glamour umpomote saying wo Ichicha mo Madina Estate opposite Atraco Sophie de Glamour we are me by the way see me nim kama na bibia etumi akọ enkansa nti meba we see me kama pa so na masala style and I pay my surprise me Sophie de Glamour and Sala style and I pay me tey and say delivery pin go be me gate my mama my Val's Day me who say me so me wadofo enti ye be hear me ni bre so ye betumi aye enti na se kese nkomo meni so mama ya mama ya na pay Sophie de Glamour ne Sala style muina no Madina na mo Sala style wo Legon mi chechi amo papa na baby adri de waso be kan bi ebe hia se ye ina na ye be kan bi ye didi nkomo we hu wiki eniema esi OSP ora kisie jabe ne nsemo de betu dwa efa no ora ken of riata ho nsema ababa ne ho bom SML nsemi National Cathedral nsemi na no kwan ofa so release sika ne mesika ne bia kwahyehe no what be say no mo declare wanted nti ye be ka ho asem wo bi ka obeka ho asem national service scandal akoso over 81,000 ghost names no so me pa cho bebre sana bosome sika no me rabia no kofu rabi de bu mo ka boot ni ade no so ade a make say oba your friend gift your war remains no so aban hwe no pa mo hwe nsem no ma no so ye bete ho ensama ekotwi ene bremai enti we ni nsem bebre ankasa this week ye de ho komo minim wahwe ye wetie ye ebe hia se wo so bebe room na eyedi enkomo enibre wo inside politics so enibre me person join the conversation about a frame was 020 for the benefit of more mutie no until say ye bosso no mo so tie no mo to me frebi 02041558888 tie ni ye 02041558888 and 02041559944 02041559944 mama call phone lines no so na me metiefo ne mahwefo ending komo. Hello, good evening.
Good evening.
Yeah, me pacho odi ni baby ma okasa fi. Okay. Me pacho also Ricky DNAC ye didn't come there na opese o can be yentio.
That's it. Me di kai na mi sha mo na pa moji.
Yeah, that's it. Hello.
Yeah.
I meant TV no. Still phone so yen kasa.
Yes. Ora kisi ejaben. na samo ni trigano na me say aka say Ghana esen bia yetini pega ni kakra okay ebie no ye hu ye kosi
okay
enunti bla wotini ababontin edi nsemisi apotugal ye be se oni hudumani hu no kwem ye se ebia sei na hu ye kukusa na da perform bla afi bi ya se on te hwe awo hu bi ese kwandi aso faso ama jumana wogi no obiti ma ya ma akoso no onye if the previous ye tini na akoso na say wo nya kwan ya jumano asa ni na bi ko ehia na ban fa ma no ni ade. In this case, Ababontin had a cassette, if you are seeing here, the saddle, on 2 1 among.
Okay.
Or my engine, sweeting dog, now, and catasso. Now, you might have others near me to a pay now. I am man, I say, Nipa 80,000. In this cacket row, I be soon be in or Ghana. Now, so maybe I am saying, the best says a bang usually. That's as can be no one Jimla. Then you must say, your man, when I got and found you. And I'm to my prefer, Omonye, Menkos,
Maso, Medase, Papa. Sana was ube to me, Abaso, was Ubekebi, a Raken of Riatan and Sema, OSP, the Betu, Jano, Marcos, National Service, and a Sema, and who here, and to make us say, a Dr. Dominic Kanyeni, or see a Chuchum Tinton time, was so wiki Kebi. Hello, good evening.
Hello.
Yeah, good evening, Obapa. We didn't baby more Casafi. Yo, Michelle Camp. We need Yana with your phone, so men share TV Nana Minty or and see young quay name. Diana also can be any brain.
Oh, me, I can't explain anything. Finance Minister woman. Namana, oh, yeah, I know, say. Oh, yeah, no. Now, what do you think? And she say, a special for Ikaba. And you feel why you should maybe anything more. Because I said the previous administration, Nana do so can be grandpa or Mawonka, near Kata. Into this is the camera almost like a day. I'm not telling my access of the out. No other can ye also. Am I yet to for
hello? Okay, you better say hello. Yes, sister Okasafi, Michelle Campier, that's a papa. Sasso knows who be to me afre na wabasuna ye din komo. And some may see ye pesa so can be. Obiwa Humana so hello, good evening. Hello, good evening.
Yeah, good evening.
Yeah, me pacho dini baby mo Okasafi.
Pacho mi dini for Kataman.
Okay, yentiwe.
Pacho, we don't have Canada about we are almost started public reform.
Okay, Kasa.
Kaka, I'm passing the campaign. May I say, former referencing, man, we are starting Marfo. I can say all the recruits at the police training school should be sacked. Yeah, they be permanent. If we follow training school, 2016 February, Pop mechanic, I was part of it, and then make us a move. If the same thing happening, I didn't think I won't be a panic. And the thing in an effect on Monday by don't remind Mahama by the Abaya fine.
Yes, so you better ask Papa, and see, and also Nancy Nibino, a fun in there. Nana a B, Nancy more the two, Johnny Bina watch him say, Diana, Oka, say, and Nipa you on wedding now in Mekaho, and Tiasia be any no. Or you are Humano, Yanko, na Yanko fan. Hello, good evening.
Good evening.
Yeah, we didn't baby more Casafi boss.
Yeah, but that's a
okay, break home, Yentiwe.
You know, can you put that out there?
Maybe I told today.
Can you put that out there?
Oh, why not? A crown of call when him.
Meet me, Akasa.
Oh, what to make us a boss?
But that was the mama, Bashapa.
Yo.
I said, can you put that on? Let's turn out what's going on. It seems to trick. Dana kra mo bikabibi ibato ubiano omon penena oyanti dana skalen yen nkwane dia na do mamu boni no bien ono abiana oboni bien hello
yo ye better ask papa ye brother Okasafi brekum me ba to sa wo frame a eya na wa ma wadwen akofone no mom so Wokasa wo hwe TV now because it's satellite nti e need delay kakra but phone no wo beti ne set time a make us na e no mind sama. Hello, good evening.
Good evening.
Yeah, me pacho di ni baby mo kasa fi.
But friend Dangom kasa takrade.
Okay, takrade himfa.
Takrade ada kupi.
Okay, kokumpe chi. Kokumpe side wo. Okay. Yeah, but that's pa. Me pacho yente we.
But that's TVXYZ.
TVXYZ na yenko. Yetio.
But the mepesa abana wona say. Ayana MPP for the case. Mobile the NDC for be egum. Na NDC for opposition am Africa. Nzo ba am be egum. Because I them ya be today. Komu sukopa akọ down. No mu be scan no no mti se jebo no be jere. Omnyere amanvo mo kan yezu enya bi aka. Ya ba na manani mre. Mama omojuma mo ye ne nyekwa. Na ye bre o manyi.
Okay. You better ask papa. Cross our loss was so here, chiao, and the brace. So, na Fifi, me, I'm a brother Fifi Brukutu, was so here, and to be teach your pa, war, want to say. Also, bet to me, Abaso, 020 4155 888. Hello, good evening.
Good evening, boss.
Yeah, but you didn't baby more Casafi.
Maybe Uncle George from
Adenta, Yentiwe.
Yeah. Oh, I am very glad, and I'm.
Me bacho chunhufi se radio set so se TV set and all kakra and mama feedback na yending komoye. Okay,
okay.
Yentio.
I am the Mahmoud Omo Finance Minister. Oh, the Ghana food there. Omo Ghana grow. Million Nigeria. I can't a minister and a minister of finance. Also, for yes, I am taking out 2028 and I get entity super a Basabansu. Mama should do justice for all Ghanaians to know what we want in Ghana. The another market category.
Okay. And Mr. Medas Papa Payini or Casafia Denta. Sana was so bit to me Abaso na ATO 020 4155944 020 4155944. Hello, good evening.
Good evening.
Yeah, me pacho dini baby mo Casafi into. Okay. Yo, what Haruna Yentiwe?
I'm pacho finance Wabo, why are we are from Ghana? Or Bacanasa. I don't listen that all kill yourself some more.
Me patch also day.
You will be shot some Sana.
Oh, why not? A quanja will miss her.
Me patcho minority, Musa Mota say from some minority and the Remo. Kakamua, and this book of Master Musa. Until Mona say from Musa. Kamuna, Kepia, Comon Pelica, and it's very Mom Penny, or Massano, if I told Yafra Musa, I didn't have from a minority disease on that.
Micro minority, no. Mate, yati, yabe from Musa. Sanos will be to me Abaso 020415588 020415588. Hello, good evening.
Good evening.
Me pacho dini baby mo Casafi yentio.
Pacho your friend Dominic Casafi Accra Central.
Okay, Dominic yentio.
And the pacho on Casafi car for operator.
Me pacho baby yentio.
Na mamo asa mamo bi for Libya ka Libya. Mamo Libya ka Safa. Okay. Na obia aban I declare wanted. Credibility na wa a almost been born roof. What for answer? Ya to about me. Obia wa Ghana. Who kwa who ni to na office ka who ni to problem na wa Ghana. Ndi je dio shedia na ya hivi wa ukra ya kwa banyana no. Na bute sika semna asa. Na sama na ko da yo so.
Okay. Yeah, but that's a papa Dominic. Also, one sema with the abano. Sana also be to me afre and prina yate also wonka. 0204155 Obi wa humana so. Hello, good evening. Hello, good evening.
Hello.
Yeah, good evening. Would any baby more kasafi?
Mr. Shaw, your friend Auntie Esther Kasafi Bema Camp.
Your Auntie Esther Bema Camp where?
Let us say, let us kakra.
Oh, also can Quenja womb. Also a person kebi.
Let's say, yeah, Bema Camp, Papa, you Johnny, you tune. You tune. Now, the Emma or yen, or no Casane at show. Just obvious drink us. Then you go out of your tomb. It's here, then you may ask. I have my Juma yen, you know, you need Joe Bema Camp. Want it so moon. I all want common thread that. But I say,
okay, yes, you better say. You know about Casafi Bema Camp. And see, what's so big to me, Abaso na wafre, and Koma Yedi, you between I join the conversation on 02041555944. Obio Ahumana so. Hello, good evening.
Good evening.
Yeah, but Pacho did baby more Casafi.
You Casasu, every Manswa Manfi was ready.
Okay, Manswa Manfi, yes. Okay, Western. I'm Memphis Central, eh?
Yeah.
Okay. And you too. Keno Furiata.
Mama Babre, Sasa Kahuna to Abama Mama. Mpacho onji sikani nyina amaye. Sasa nyina kahuna to abana du na mama because konfonu omu wie ya papa. Omuwie ka woyar kura bebe ehwebia mpacho emufanimbra nomba dinasa na Ghana fo bia ntiase bidamasi
ya so bedase ya brother Kasafi Manso Amenfi, that is Amenfi Central. Yes, onona ya tene kan also betumi afre 02041555944. Hello, good evening.
Yeah. Good evening, sir.
Yeah, mpacho dini baby mo Kasafi.
I'm calling from Tema.
Okay, let's hear you, my brother.
The jackpot we have to speak. I speak 10 cities. Then they deducted 100 cities from my account.
Is it the Mensa account and I say Mega Cash?
Yeah, Mensa account.
Mensa account.
I was I'm even going to see her.
Then my Mega Chron say what fatty me. My Mega Chron say about 7 o'clock. Stay glued to your set. Share TV XYZ. Net Anati Power FM. May be obe to me aye lucky winner. So worry not. Why? Men kasa bebre. Oh, issue for Frokana. Me pacho when you were fan fishona. Yen ko before fro. Yeah, can't was so kebi. Mensaka from 7 p.m. going. Stay glued to your set. Na Mensaka a power jackpot. And there vast day. Shareholder edition. Also be lock arena. Since you had no, you're back 7 o'clock. Hello, good evening.
Good evening, how are you?
Yeah, I'm fine. Me pacho didn't be baby more Kasafi.
Your family reason, okay. Calling from where? Calling from Tema,
okay. The Harbor City. Tema yentiwe.
Okay, my family nine say Jumana Mr. President no. Dani kwam super pena onje na njiga na sikenya enfi omonse. Na afin so no soldiers for na MPP 40 wo mukogu mu se wo mu se tiku no onhwe no nja omo.
Okay. Also wakabi yebeda sa papa anti edia tenano make out say about 7 p.m. Right after the news and mansaka edwumedi ne beba so about 7 pepepa anti men sorry cra. And also bet me I lucky winner. 10 Ghana cities each be a bogum na ko anim. But says ya de Marco so efa na my semino. Then also walk obi wan homa so. Hello, good evening. Hello, good evening.
Good evening, Raja.
Yeah, we did baby more Kasafi.
I'm a Kasafi Techimai.
Techimai in for no Kasafi.
Techimai. ni onyina se.
Aha, ni onyina se. Adepa FM side wo on. Okay. My former station no. Yentie we. Then also worker.
I can overwata no.
Aha.
The COVID-19 deal no kan ho bi na ye no wanted na say eno no nka ho.
Ane de ne nsem ne bebre SML ni na ka ho bi. Ni na ka ho.
Ma we edi kapa say de ne tum na eye the swadi mu ana say example ma amaka no say ube na government position na as I say o ye want to pay because eye dan ya obi free so.
Obana odifo de a matibia no ye beji sika no ye hia sika no krasen no ye no tum na ye nya ye sika no say ibi afa ne sase a bebi ehye bia bi beba hia so say san ye na to bas no ma why not obekwa akodem ti ye beda ase papa
le na me so me chairman again
eno ano ye chi obi a wo chachima ni oyina ase why. Okay, also betumi abaso nkoma ye didi ora keno for real national service krata hihye ne pro ya akoso ho OSP nsem bebrina na ode atudwa eba no attorney general so cases a ho hia nti wetwetwe na no nkoma ye didi wiki mo also betumi edibi obi also. Hello, good evening.
Hello, good evening.
Me ba chodi ni baby mo kasafi Joe yentiewe
you can miss them desktop no man assembly of an FM.
Sound
but on means program front desk no man. I'm
front desk no man. Okay. Me did this a producer no be way. We do we are so producers no be no be kasa. Why? We chino omo the number bia we here bia mo munti. Yentio na dia na how dia na opese oka okay so no ne how ana say mo opese oka ne so hia front desk number ntia ya mo ne nkasa etri na mo fe ma no okay yenkwa ahoma ne so obi wo so. Hello, good evening. Hello, good evening.
Good evening, sir.
Yeah, me pa cho di ni baby mo kasa fi
premier aban because
wo kasa fi
Kede.
Okay, Kede. Yentie we.
But okay.
Me ba cho yentie Kede fo.
Ofuri ata samro na mpesa mekan.
Why not ko wanim?
The celebrity ofuri ata samro. Mo shedan kan yi OS. Mo feku enye adwuma. Esa say kufu ebreso no one man kwan so wo hwe nsemo kan ya na say anko betimi agi adwuma no pa na wa wunim sa ban no ala yi wo ye pa ne ye be chu so eti wo ye wanya chance no ne nsemo a wo kan mo mi na pa na wa hayen papa
ye better ask papa yeah papa na ye New York Kasafike ma me fa be two callers bi and em say yenya time pa mama callers no ample time on to me akasa yi caller back was so have fa no. Hello, good evening.
Yeah, good evening.
Yeah, we did baby mo Kasafi.
Benjamin.
Okay, Benji yentio. Me patwa ya ma wano so kakra e akasa den kakra.
Okay. You must can Suriata no jani na wojani no nye yari na pakistan because na former president J.J. Rawlings for yari yen. Mano bakina krum 37 no this time yari antena na the hospital of Gumhana, what hospital? I didn't know so. The president, the man and neighbor, Nagan for
Yo, you better ask papa. No more calls to trooping. The Yamfa call be aha na yɛde phone segment and the Friday yamma time papa listeners and viewers most mo tumi express mo ho my cost issue say o makabi ma bibie tumi akonka nti nyame nhya mo a mo frɛ mo so ampese mo fra ye twa so no so nyame nka mo ho pa yi ba me Yawson exactly 7 p.m. right after the Akan news no ade a yɛde mensa akadwumedi ne bro hia me ne kwame menka ye bibie mo papa pe be diagro ye be sa na yagie ni Day and easy cry na oswenya dwete no kofio la jan kudi asama bronika na wafe ne se na bibia entumi enko enkai anti adietene no ma ende yododa but moma yenko no boko yempe ese echina yebetete ensem bi enye se yetete na yenuanom bi omode cars no ma no no monsane yenko no boko because won kwa hia but report bi a efi Ghana is commission aba no so ehu pa nti moma yenhwe ne yi and then titu youth no ya ma vast day na koye se edri so se kitima pakew ne niam bi koso but ye shrema HIV wo ho pa HIV is no ho nti semanra wa UTM radio so medborn be church mo no ye try say Accra ha Greater Accra teacher Ashanti region, Eastern region. Now yeba metro, yeba municipal, yeba district na, Accra, AMA, and I say AMA area ha. Why within Accra metropolitan area no. Muna mudikai, area Kumasi metropolitan area. Etosu 2 and san Lojo Kuku, and then yem shimi yo. Ye Lojo Kuku ya lanin important. Ya say baba mo district rom na toso 3. Inti esremwa. Me pacho sa wuntumi abstain dia ya hye. Aha ma meka cho minim say vast day dia say sia sana aba enti wuntumi so enhye ho so dia sha men yo unye ready men ye kra enti ye totoshe moma enko no boko ba dofo da enye say ebia wo ne wo mpena na wo kunu na wo yere nkoten odofo bi ben no say wonso hie ska no wo bia mane bi odofo bi ben no so chena de na wa chena de ma bibia etumi akonkan na ye kama pa enti about 6 pa ye the news pa in a can ye the bro after news in about 7 and the mensa kan obiti be yi na wenya 10,000 Ghana cedis in Ghana's can 100 million so na obi obedi second no more we chiri na so ye be spread 60 million cedis and 6,000 Ghana cedis amomina mamefa na sekese emfema production team Mr. Kelvin Asante ebo mechidom so na me call MCera Ralph Jampo ani Uncle Peter Emmanuel Nethi Emmanuel Kisibuae Edem Akontoni me ba camerasa Francis ne Kofi Asante omina aboae pa me amedi dwumedi enhu chia me from Nicholas ya Yawson obetumi afrom Ken Nicholas se Yesu amba debi besha kai say boss sexa news papa na ye de bro I love you with the love of the Lord. Good evening, bye bye.